I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, putting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Get some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, putting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Get some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
What up? I was muted. Crap. Welcome to the show. Monday night, kicking the week off right. Dreadedconservative show. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. I said it's Juneteenth in 3 days, so we watermeloned out. We got the watermelon mode on the computer. You can't tell, but in that little screen right there, there's a guy just mowing down on some watermelon. What's up, Stochastic Chuck? The aimless wandering soul. Never seen you here before, but welcome to you from Canada. I'm not in Canada, but you're in Canada, so you're from Canada. Shout out Canada. Jay has got bars. I do got bars, but that's not me in that song. That's Bryson Gray and Trevor Wesley. Y'all got the melon ready. Get your melons ready for Juneteenth coming up. It's Juneteenth. That's not going to be a big focus of the show today. We'll do like one thing about that in rapid fire. But what do we got today? Lots of stuff today. It's been a crazy news cycle this week. So everybody's been the last segment of the show. I'm going to spend some time educating myself. Everybody's been talking about Palantir and Peter Thiel for the last week or two. So I'm going to get all caught up on that so nobody drops it on me and I don't know enough about it. The Palantir stuff we'll talk about later, but in the main news segment, we're going to talk about there's a lot of spoiler alert warning. a lot of violence, a lot of shootings, a lot of negative stuff this week. You know, it's all Trump's fault. Trump won, so that justifies all of the Democrats murdering people and going fucking crazy. Sorry. But that's what it is. What was I just going to say? We'll talk about the Minnesota lawmaker execution, essentially, and the chase and the capture of the guy. We'll talk about the No King's Day protests, a lot across the nation, but we're going to focus on my hometown, what happened here, because I mean, the riots are crazy. We didn't riot here in Salt Lake City, but it's not because they were well-behaved protesters. It's because somebody got murdered. That's what happened. That's why we didn't riot. And I got updates on that story. Some shocking developments in that story. So I'm anti-Trump. Hope that doesn't expel me. No, you're welcome to hang out. You're not going to like it, but but I always tell people, if you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. What's up, Shiva? Brainbenders Banter. BBB. Peace Dynamo and Robert. Shout out, guys. And then there was one other story. So the No King stuff. Oh, yeah, Israel, Iran. World War III. You know, I almost forgot. We're going into World War III, by the way, too. Yeah. And then in rapid fire news, it's been a crazy week. But in rapid fire news, we'll talk about Juneteenth, and there were a couple other shootings. Not a lot of happy news this week. I don't got a lot of feel good news for you this week, but it is what it is. So let's get into it. Hold up, because I gotta go quick. There's so much to cover. So we're gonna start with the No King stuff. If you guys didn't know, I was at the Salt Lake City No Kings protest, and it was, for the most part, peaceful, I guess. Yeah, it was peaceful. Nobody, well, up until what we're about to talk about, but nobody was looting or vandalizing or spray painting everything. Everybody was happy and smiley. You know, it stunk. It smelled really bad. It was vandalism to the oxygen of the streets of the entire city, because over 10,000 people showed up to the Salt Lake City one, and it went for blocks and blocks and blocks. Packed. People were packed. It's crazy. I'll give it to the Dems. They organize. They know how to organize. They know how to put together a dang protest freaking 5 days a week for 4 years. If they don't like the president, they will just ruin everybody's lives. It's probably easy when you don't have a lot of jobs, when you're all living off of welfare and Social Security and taxpayers' dole. It's probably not hard to sit around and plan protests with your stinky armpit-haired feminist friends, you know. But they're doing it. They've been doing it. They've been protesting nonstop. You boy out here. But it was going good until shots were fired. Shots were fired. I think there is a point in my video that you can hear it, but it's very silent, and the crowd is chanting. You can barely hear it, but you hear boom, boom, boom. And we've got some other videos for you. But there's been shots were fired. I ran towards the police. I ran with the police towards the gunfire like a good guerrilla journalist does. And I didn't want to show it on YouTube, but there was a guy on the ground in the middle of the street with a bunch of people around him doing CPR. we have who that guy is. I wonder if Jalen's here. Jalen, are you here? Jalen. If Jalen's here, Jalen might recognize this guy because he was actually on Project Runway, the guy who was killed. He did die. I'll give you his name and show you some pictures here in a second, but he was actually a fashion designer, like a Samoan fashion designer. And Jalen watches Project Runway because he's gay. I don't watch it, but but he watches it, so he might recognize this guy. But RIP, he did not make it. And there was a lot of confusion. A lot of people speculating. I was speculating. I'm going to be clear with you. I'm going to read the articles and stuff. I'm going to show you videos. We can speculate. There's a lot of things we still don't know yet. So I'm not here right now in a journalistic capacity. I'm here in my commentator capacity, my theory crafter capacity. So, take everything we read and everything I say with a grain of salt. We're not sure about this. There's going to be some speculation, but we're going to look into it. First, I just want to show you the Salt Lake City protest Facebook page. Just some of the things they're saying over there. This is where I get my intel. Hold on. So we have this article. The police gave a statement. The mayor gave a statement. There was something. I wanted to show you this. There's been statements. There was a letter put out by the 5051 protest group who organizes all of these things. Thank you to all the outpouring of support for the victim's family and asking for a vigil. Several groups are currently working together to make that happen. Where's the statement they put out? This is the guy. Renowned Samoan fashion designer Arthur Falasa Alu. We have a better article with his whole name, but they've started a GoFundMe for his family. Oh, you guys are looking at the wrong. You guys are looking at the wrong window. Hold on a second. Hold on. One second. This is the wrong window capture. My bad, guys. Technical business. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. This is the guy who lost his life, and he was just a bystander. They've got a little vigil going at the spot. People bringing flowers and whatnot, dropping it off. That's pretty cool. I'm looking for. This is him and his family. Sad. He had 2 kids. This is what I'm looking for. No, wait. This is from the police department. Where's the letter from 5051? Maybe I have it saved on a tab. But anyway, they made a statement and it was BS. Because later, video came out and spoiler alert, shocker, we now know that the green vests, I always talk about the green vests. The green vests are the peacekeepers for these protests and these riots. The people that wear the green high-vis vests, those people are like the safety people. So there's the organizers, then there's the peacekeepers, then there's the agitators, there's the people who are ready to get arrested and lawyers are waiting. Bail funds are already set up. They're meant to go there to get arrested. There's the peacekeepers in the green high-vis vests. We now have confirmation, and this is scary. This is kind of, it's scary, and also it's I don't know if it's a huge deal, but the peacekeepers at these protests, at least some of them, come armed. They come with guns. Now, Salt Lake City is an open carry state. It's a concealed carry state. You don't even got to get a license. You don't got, they're all about the guns out here in Salt Lake City. So, or in Utah specifically. So some of them got guns. Some of these peacekeepers are packing, and apparently they're ready to fire. The developments we have, I'm going to show you the video. Well, I'm going to show you my video. And at the end, we'll watch real slowly the part I want you to see. But what happened is some of the peacekeepers saw a guy branch off of the, and this is weird because they say they saw a guy branch off and go around the corner of a building, a guy wearing full black, and they saw him going into his backpack and assembling a rifle. So apparently a dude with a backpack went around a corner, started taking pieces of an AR-15 out of his backpack and assembling the rifle. And then he started walking towards the crowd with the rifle in his hand. One of the peacekeepers drew down on him and shot 3 times. Now, Gamboa, which is the name of the guy who had the AR, who was walking into the crowd, he got hit, not even critically. I don't know where he got hit, but he was fine. But he did get hit. One of the bullets didn't hit anything. The other bullet struck Afa, this guy, and it was fatal. He died. RIP. But this peacekeeper is not a police officer. Now, this is where I got to be careful, because we always talk about in a mass shooting event or something like that, we want the good guy with the gun to stop it. The problem is when you're at a protest like this and you fire towards the shooter, there's 10,000 people behind the shooter. So essentially this peacekeeper fired into a crowd of innocent people to hit the shooter. 3 shots, he hit the shooter once. Didn't even really hurt the shooter. Killed an innocent person. The other bullet could have potentially killed another person. So, and the question is, we don't know if Gamboa was just demonstrating, because we're here to exercise our rights as Americans, right? We're here to exercise our First Amendment right. Well, we also have a Second Amendment right. Open carry is legal in Salt Lake City. You're allowed to walk around with an AR-15 in your hands. So technically, Gamboa had not yet done anything illegal. But he might have. So it's a tough situation. I'm not saying I'm like, oh, let's go Gamboa. I'm not saying that, because the way he was dressed, the way he looked like a crazy person. He may have done a lot of damage that day if the peacekeeper hadn't shot him. But the peacekeeper is not a trained. He was being the good guy with the gun, but he shot into a crowd. So I'm torn about this. You know, was this the right thing to do? Was it the right thing for this dude to do, to shoot at this guy, to stop him from potentially doing a mass shooting on the whole crowd, which would have been really bad. It would have got really bad if that happened. I don't know. It's a tough situation. But one of the main takeaways I get now is that these peacekeepers are strapped up and they're ready to shoot, which is wild to me. So let's watch this video real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is my short. This is a clip from my footage, a clip from some CNN footage, and then at the end is the important part. This is a view from people who are up on the balcony. If you remember, as we were walking down the road, I looked up and I was like, oh, look, everybody's out on their balcony watching. That's where the best footage came from, because those people had an aerial view of the whole situation and they were able to zoom in on where it happened and see what happened. Articles are saying that Gamboa was running into the crowd with the gun raised. That's not true. That's not what we see in the video. So let me show you. This is the CNN footage. This is my footage.
Sirens. There was 2 guys running down an alley. Oh, people are running. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, they're shooting.
When I heard they're shooting, somebody yelled, they're shooting, they're shooting. And so I said, they're shooting. I thought they meant officers were shooting, like tear gas, like pepper balls or tear gas canisters. That's what I thought was going on right now, because everybody's saying they're shooting, they're shooting. So I'm thinking maybe some people got rowdy up ahead and the police had to shoot. But then I'll show you when it really hit home.
Where? I'm going towards where people are running from. Active shooter, they said. They said active shooter.
The person who said active shooter, that lady, this lady right here, in the full video and the wider shot, you see her more. And this is a crazy thing too. Why the fuck would you bring an infant child in a freaking stroller to one of these things? There are people there who are planning to riot and go to jail. These things always get crazy. If it's a small group of people, maybe it'll stay peaceful, like if they're meeting at the Capitol to do a thing. But even the ones where they meet at the Capitol and it's only like 1,000 people. If you saw when I went to I forget that other protest I went to not too long ago. Even then, people get pepper sprayed, people get in fights. Sometimes they end in riots. There's a bunch of densely packed, stinky people. This is not a place for a child. This lady is running full speed with her kid. There's an infant in this stroller right here. And she was running. She was booking it. And she goes, active shooter, run. And she's pushing her kid. She hits the curb. The cart, like, the kid's in the cart, like, flailing around. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people it's one thing to bring 5-year-olds to 8-year-olds to these things. You know, they're destroying their children anyway, but bringing infants in strollers to one of these things, you're pushing the stroller. You're in a crowd of 10,000 people. If something like this happens, everybody freaks out and scatters like we just saw. And you've got an infant in a stroller. These people are retarded.
Everybody's running and she said active shooter.
This right here. She hit that curb and that baby was like flopping. And there's another one. 2 people with strollers with children in them.
Here come the cops are running. I'm gonna follow the cops. I'm running. We're running, boys. I'm gonna go where the cops are going. I'm catching up to them.
The guy right next to me over being shot.
And this is when it like kind of hit me, because as I'm walking by, you hear somebody crying, and you see him for a second, but this kid was like in shock. He was like on the phone. I think he was on the phone with his mom or something, and he's like, the person next to me just got shot and he just fell to the ground, and he's freaking out. And I was like, oh, this is real. This guy right here.
That guy's crying on his phone. He said the person next to him got shot.
So I didn't really show it in the stream because I'm not trying to get banned, but behind this white van in the middle of the street, the guy is on the ground and there's a bunch of people surrounding him and they're doing CPR on him.
Cop's walkie just said man down. Said there's a man down.
So where I'm standing right now is where the shooting happened. Gamboa was walking from this building right here. If you go down to the right, down this way, there's a corner. He walked around that corner and started assembling his gun. Now, how the peacekeepers saw one random person leave the crowd and go around the corner and decided to follow him, that's what their story is. Their story is they saw him leave the crowd and go around a corner, so they followed him, and they saw him assembling a rifle out of his backpack. He was pulling pieces, and he was assembling it over around the corner over here. And that's where all the cops were running, is around this corner. I thought they were going into the building because maybe the shooting had come from the balconies of this apartment building. But really, that's just where he had assembled the rifle. Where I'm standing right now is where the peacekeeper was standing when he shot. Gamboa was standing right about where this guy with the blue shirt is when he got hit. And then the person that died is, if this van wasn't here, he's on the ground right behind the van.
Cop on his walkie-talkie just said, where's the location of the shooter? They're going into this building over here.
Okay, so see, where I was just standing is right about where this guy is standing right here. Maybe I should make it full screen. But this is the important part. This is the video that we get a lot of information from. When it first happened and everybody scattered, I was right over here in this area. I tried like zooming in trying to see if I could see me, but when the shootings happened, I was probably about here, and by the time people started running, I was right about here. Okay, let's pause this. So here is Gamboa. Gun is down. He's got a gun in his hand, and he's coming from around this corner, and he's walking this way. Now, you see he's walking now with the gun down, and the peacekeeper already has his gun drawn, pointed. Oh, you guys can't see the whole thing. Hold on. Okay, there you go. He's already got his gun drawn, pointed at Gamboa. Designated peacekeeper, quote unquote. As soon as he shoots, then Gamboa starts running into the crowd. The gun was never lifted. He's just got it on his shoulder. Now, again, it's very likely he meant to do some harm that day. But it's also possible he was just demonstrating by open carrying. It's a march for your rights, right? Why can't you do your Second Amendment rights? Do I think people should be walking around in protest with AR-15 strapped to them? No. But is it illegal? No. He has not done anything illegal yet. Gamboa actually never did anything illegal. Now he starts running with the gun after he just got shot. So that's the crazy breakthrough. The news reports are still saying the news reports are still saying that he was running into the crowd with the gun drawn like this. That's not what happened. He was walking casually with the gun down on it, just walking with the gun. That's not illegal in Salt Lake City. Gamboa never broke any laws. Now, do I think, I just want to make it clear, it's very likely he might have been planning on doing something horrible. But when this goes to court, I don't see, Gamboa didn't do anything illegal. The peacekeeper did. The peacekeeper killed an innocent bystander because he shot into a crowd. When he's shooting and he's tracking and he shoots once, so when he first shoots, that first shot, Gamboa was right about here. But then as Gamboa runs, he's tracking and he's shooting. By the time Gamboa gets to about here and he's shooting, all these people are being fired on. Siren and Israel IDF said missiles launched. Yeah, we're going to get to that stuff soon, but it's crazy. 2 people shot, including suspect in custody. This is from Utah News Dispatch. Let me fix the window again. Okay. Salt Lake City Police Department is investigating a shooting that occurred during a No Kings protest Saturday night, leaving 1 person with critical injuries. An estimated 10,000 people were marching at the time. Salt Lake City Police Chief Brian Redd told media shortly after 10 p.m., about 2 hours after the incident, that gunshots had been fired as protesters were walking near 151st State Street. Police responded immediately, finding 1 person with life-threatening injuries. So this is an early article. We read some of this Saturday night on the stream. It wasn't clear whether the first responding officers had heard or seen the shooting or what alerted them to the incident. Investigators are working to determine what led up to the shooting. So they did detain 2 of the peacekeepers, including the one that did the shooting. And those guys are working with police. I would be too if I had just killed an innocent bystander. I mean, I don't think he purposely killed the bystander, but still, you're not trained for this, buddy. When you shot 3 times, you only grazed him once, and you killed a bystander. So this ain't your gig. You're not freaking the Punisher. You're not some military sniper. Like 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, 2 out of 3 is bad if one of the 2 is not the person you're aiming at. Here's some. This is Gamboa on a stretcher. But he was conscious. He was yelling, "I've been shot. I've been shot." Pictures of people running. This is Gamboa walking away. It looks like he got grazed in the side. Or not grazed, but he got hit in the side. He does look kind of crazy, though. He's fully blacked out. He was tactical geared out. They took his... somebody had an interesting theory. He looks kind of a little Middle Eastern, but Gamboa, what kind of name is Gamboa? Is that Italian or is that Hispanic, Latin? I don't know, but it's not a Middle Eastern name. But somebody had a theory that maybe they took his shirt off to see if he had a vest, like a suicide say vest. Interesting theory. I don't know if that works here. I think that was Elder Lion's theory. It made sense, but I don't think that's the situation here. I feel like he was going in there to do some damage, but we don't know that. He's Mexican? Okay. More likely Latin? Okay. Yeah. I suspect he was going in there to do some damage, but we don't know that. He didn't break any laws. You're totally fine to walk through the streets of Salt Lake City with an AR-15 in your hands. That's legal. Gunman arrested for murder of protester despite not firing the shots. He didn't fire any shots. He never even aimed the rifle. The person who shot was allegedly a peacekeeper. Peacekeeper, I guess, means a vigilante police officer for Antifa. Let's see this.
Note of is like, so people talk about, oh, okay, let's figure it out.
Dude, all the journalists are like, we're going in, boys. Get in there. We're the real soldiers. Let's see what the sheriff said.
The event immediately responded after hearing gunshot wounds around 7:56 p.m. One person was found critically injured at the time.
And I thought I had it. Maybe I thought I had it and I can't find it now. Looks like they took it down off of the Facebook protest page because the morning after this happened, 5051 put out a letter and it was filled with bullshit. It was all bullshit. And then as new reports started coming out, everybody was commenting and they're like, none of this is true. Everything you're saying in this statement is a lie. And I think they took it down because I can't find it now.
The individual's injuries are considered life-threatening.
Peacekeeper equals murder.
At the time of the shooting, officers received witness information that helped identify and locate the person involved in the shooting. Salt Lake City officers pursued this individual and safely took him into custody near 200 East and 100 South.
Yeah, you got the wrong guy.
He had a gunshot wound and was transported to the hospital under police watch. A short time later, 2 other individuals involved in the incident were also taken into custody.
Those are the 2 peacekeepers.
At this time, there are no known outstanding.
Not the 2 guys.
Not
the 2 guys that I saw running down the alley. Goon was like, just let the suspects get away. Those guys were not involved, okay? You're gonna get me in trouble. They'll say stuff like that.
Incident and no known ongoing threats to the public. I just want to thank our officers who responded to the incident tonight and who were involved in keeping the demonstration safe up until this point. Their rapid response ensured.
Yeah, it was mostly peaceful and safe until somebody got murdered. Why did people? It was a peaceful protest, guys, until somebody got murdered. It's always a peaceful protest until it's not.
The safety of thousands of participants here in the downtown Salt Lake City area tonight. We're extremely grateful to the Utah Highway Patrol, the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office, and many other officers who came from other agencies to assist here in Salt Lake City tonight. The events leading up to the shooting, leading up to the shooting, were very peaceful. The event organizers,
yeah, the protests before the LA riots started, up until the riots started, it was very peaceful protest. It was mostly peaceful. The whole protest was peaceful. It's just the riot that wasn't peaceful. It was peaceful until violence broke out and people started dying.
Worked closely with us at the Salt Lake City here at Salt Lake City, and up until the point of the shooting, there was no indication of any problems.
Jeffrey Dahmer was a mostly peaceful guy until he started drilling holes in people's skulls and having sex with them. He was mostly peaceful. Most of his life, he was a peaceful guy until he started killing people. Is this Mayor Mendenhall?
I'm going to start by thanking the Salt Lake City Police Department.
So this is our whack-ass Marxist mayor. I'd argue the most Marxist mayor in all of America. The most Marxist politician in all of America is the mayor of Salt Lake City. She has a gender studies degree. That's what she went to college for, was gender studies. They banned pride flags. They banned Juneteenth. They banned any non-state or Basically, the American flag and the state flag. That's what you're allowed to fly. So what did she do? She turned she turned the Juneteenth flag, the gay flag, the trans flag into city flags by adding a little flower to the corner, which represents Salt Lake City. So now she can fly out. She found a loophole. She skipped around daddy's rules.
Department and the Salt Lake City Fire Department for their swift and professional response to this tragic event. And I want to thank Chief Red for his leadership tonight. The violence that we've seen here today in Salt Lake City and even in other parts of this nation is horrific. And it is not
whose fault is it, Mayor? Maybe it's people like you, politicians like you, sowing discord among the people, bitching because you lost a national election. That's what this all is. We lost, we mad. We big mad because we lost. You know, when Trump lost, January 6th happened. That was a protest to stop something that a lot of people, at least half the people in the country, thought was unfair. We thought the election was being stolen from us, and we were upset about it, and we went to demonstrate. And yeah, it got a little violent. It was mostly peaceful until people started getting shot. It was a mostly peaceful protest until people got shot. But after that, after January 6th, we didn't spend 4 years rioting and protesting constantly. We complained, but we dealt with it. When the left loses, it's chaos. And this is how they win elections. We win elections by saying, look at all the bullshit that's going on in America with the inflation, with the immigration, the illegal immigration, wars starting everywhere, you know. And then people see and they say, damn, this does suck. So the pendulum swings and we vote in the other guy, the next choice. When they lose, the way they win is by just causing hell for everyone for 4 years. Now, granted, I guess Trump's record of no war starting under him is not so clean anymore, because we're going to talk about Israel and Iran here in a little bit. And but up until he had a mostly peaceful presidency up until this recent war started.
we are. Let me be clear. This act of violence does not define our city. The purpose of today's demonstration was power.
No, it just defines the Antifa, the left. It doesn't define the city. It defines the left.
And a peaceful expression until this event. And that cannot be overshadowed or silenced by a single act meant to harm.
Yes, it is. Yes, it does. Nobody cares about the mostly peaceful protest anymore. All they care about is the person who got killed, the innocent person who got murdered. Well, I guess it would be more like a manslaughter. That would be manslaughter, right? Because he didn't intend to kill that guy. He wasn't shooting at that guy on well, I don't. Yeah, it would be. It's still a homicide. I just don't know how they would charge it. I think they would charge it as like a manslaughter or something, or a unintentional homicide. I don't know, but I'm not a lawyer. I bet you I could pass the bar though if I studied for it.
Urge everyone in the public to be calm, to give one another grace, and to look out for one another tonight and in the coming days. To our Salt Lake City police officers and our Salt Lake City firefighters, I thank you for your heroic actions. You are among the best in this city, and I am so proud of you. To those who came down
playing Factorio, all right, nerd. What are you, Destiny? I'm kidding.
Downtown today to speak up and march and stand peacefully together.
What's up, Gorilla Biscuits?
Thank you for using your voice. Thank you for your peaceful cooperation with our police department tonight. And please know that your calm response and your support of their efforts likely prevented a more dangerous potential situation. You
Nobody was
represent
calm.
the Salt Lake City that I am proud to call home.
Except for me.
We will not walk in fear of one another, not in this city and not in this nation. America, we are better than this violence. We are stronger than this hate.
You aren't.
This moment does not define us. Thank you for being here tonight, and we'll take questions.
Chief, the 4 people involved, were they
4 people
shooting
involved.
at each other, shooting into the crowd? Do you know just how the 4, did they know each other, Chief?
That is all under investigation right now. It's too early to say.
Why were they?
So this is the night it happened. We don't get any information here. There's no answers yet at that point, but we do have, we've had these developments now. Marcher wounded in Salt Lake City. No Kings protest shooting dies. So this is a newer article. Investigators believe Alu was killed by a man who was apparently part of the demonstration's peacekeeping team. I like how they're putting it in quotes, because I would put it in quotes too. You can't call it peacekeeping team when they didn't really keep the peace very well. He hit Alu as he fired 3 shots at Gamboa, who Red said was running into the crowd of protesters just before 8 p.m. with a rifle drawn. That means he lied. He lied to police officers. We've got video. He was not running into the crowd with a gun drawn. He was walking casually into the crowd with the gun down, which is legal. Remember that. That's the important thing here. Gamboa never broke any laws. I'm going to keep saying that. Now, maybe he was planning to, but you don't know his intentions. There's people, obviously there's people at this protest who were armed. I bet there was a lot of people at this protest who were armed. It's Salt Lake City. It's people don't know, but Utah is, even the lefties like their guns here. Guns are not, I always tell people this, the Second Amendment, guns are not a left or a right issue. They're a libertarian issue. And libertarian is south. Authoritarian and libertarian are both left and right. A lot of people don't understand this. If you say, I'm an authoritarian, they say, well, that means you're a commie. No, that means you're an idiot. Communism and capitalism are the economic political compass. They're the economic left and economic right. Authoritarian and libertarian are north and south. You have to look at politics two-dimensionally. It's not a line with left and right. There's north and south also. You can be an authoritarian on the far right. You can be an authoritarian on the far left. You can be a gun nut libertarian on the far left or the far right. So a lot of these Antifa people, a lot of these lefties like guns. Destiny loves guns. A lot of people love guns. It's not a left or a right issue. Officers found Gamboa minutes after the shooting, crouching in a group of people near 100 South and 200 East, and arrested him. He was treated at the hospital for a minor gunshot wound before he was booked into jail. While police say Gamboa didn't fire a shot, an officer wrote in a probable cause statement that the 24-year-old was knowingly engaged in conduct that created a grave risk of death to another individual and thereby caused the death of the other individual. Is that going to hold up? I don't see this holding up. If he gets a decent lawyer, the decent lawyer is going to say he has a Second Amendment right in this state to walk around with an AR-15 in his hands. He's allowed to do that. He didn't break a law. Police initially detained the alleged shooter and another man, both men wearing neon high visibility vests commonly worn by protest safety organizers who'd confronted Gamboa, though neither were arrested and both were let go. Red said they were cooperating with the police investigation. There's still a lot of questions to be answered, and we will continue to update you as we learn more about the investigation's progress. What we know is that this incident unfolded very quickly. It was chaotic, but it was resolved very quickly. I mean, is killing a bystander a resolution? I don't know about that. Alou was also known as Afa Alou, a well-known fashion designer, and was once a contestant on Project Runway. He was a self-taught designer who grew up in Samoa. According to the previous Tribune reporter, he served a mission with the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints in Salt Lake City and moved back to Utah when he got married after attending Brigham Young University in Hawaii. I didn't know there was a BYU in Hawaii. He and his wife have 2 children, according to a GoFundMe that family friends set up on Sunday. Last time I checked the GoFundMe, they were at $32,000. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. I'm totally cool with people donating to his family. Constitutional carry, exactly. Yeah, he had that right. In a statement posted on Instagram Saturday, No Kings protesters organizers with Utah 5051 called Alou an innocent, peaceful protester who came out to make his voice heard as he stood up for our rights when our country needed him most. I mean, Gamboa might have been standing up for his rights. He might have been a peaceful protester standing up for his rights. We don't know his intentions, but, the local group is part of the Grassroots 5051 coalition, which plans protests against Trump administration like Saturdays, aiming for at least 50 protests in all 50 states in one day. And I should have tried to interview that dude who was with them, because I'm always trying to find the organizers. We unequivocally condemn any act of violence. Epstein Ortiz. One of the organizers of 51's name is Epstein Ortiz. This movement is rooted in nonviolent dignity and justice, and we grieve any loss of life or injury. And they actually talked to the police talked to the peaceful peacekeepers at Pioneer Park before it started. I wonder if they told the police that they were armed. I wonder how many of them are armed. It's crazy. Now I'll still go to these things and cover them. But it's kind of wild to know that these green vests are packing. The peacekeepers are packing. And they're crazy. Where's the red flag laws when we need them? Democrats passing cars honking Cava in the plaza. Okay, enough of this. I think this is the statement from the mayor, but I don't think it's any different than what we just saw. The violence we've seen today in Salt Lake City and elsewhere in the country is horrific. It's just not who we are. We deserve to feel safe, especially when exercising our First Amendment rights. What about our Second Amendment rights? Thank you to the Salt Lake City Police Department for their quick action tonight to protect lives and support those marching peacefully. My heart is with you, SLC. We'll get through this. So that's the statement from the mayor. That's pretty much all the new developments that we got. There was other violence in Riverside, California. There was a car that drove through a crowd. I don't think I have the video. Maybe I do. Protests took place in hundreds of U.S. cities on Trump's 79th birthday and the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary parade in Washington, D.C. Nick Shirley went to the military parade that Trump did, and it looked really cool. They did a parade, and they had soldiers wearing the uniforms and driving the equipment throughout all of the history of America and the American military. So they had all the old tanks, all the old uniforms, like I'm not a good history guy. The rebel and the Confederate, what the heck am I trying to say? All the old uniforms from all the different wars that we fought, and they marched. It looked really cool. Meanwhile, all over the country, this stuff is going around. In Portland, after the march ended, they all got together at the ICE building in Portland, and Portland declared a riot. For a couple hours, it was riot status in Portland. Let's take a look at that.
Sunday, following a clash between federal authorities and protesters on Saturday. Portland police have been monitoring the area around the ICE facility on South Macadam Avenue throughout the day. It follows several weeks of demonstrations outside the facility, which have resulted in more than a dozen arrests. One person we spoke to today, who did not wish to be identified, said demonstrators plan to stick around.
To make sure that
Look at this moron.
they know that someone is always watching them, someone from the community is always watching them when they're committing these crimes.
Oh no, this guy's watching us. Dude, if this guy's watching you, that's creepy.
And kidnapping our neighbors.
That's Jason with long hair.
In a statement today, Mayor Keith Wilson says Portland does not require the intervention of the National Guard.
Look at all the trash. They're just filthy, disgusting human beings. He's got knee pads on. What are you, sucking dick when your mask is not on? What the
Guard. This as the mayor warns more arrests are possible in the near future. Portland police arrested 3 people last night after they declared a riot outside the ICE facility. 2 for attempted assault of an officer, 1 for theft and DUII.
He has
Police
glasses
declared
on
that
under his
riot
goggles,
shortly
yeah.
after a federal officer was hurt by the crowd. As that happened, agents fired tear gas, pepper balls, and less lethal
Look at the trash.
rounds.
They just leave their trash everywhere. Everything's tagged up, everything's graffitied. They destroy their cities. These people, oh my God.
We spoke to one ER nurse who was hit in the eye with a rubber bullet while protesting.
I was out there.
They're filthy, disgusting people. Like, could you imagine what these people's apartments look like? Disgusting.
In t-shirt and shorts and a bullhorn and nothing else. On the sidewalk, speaking up to the people that were in the building, and didn't get much out before there was a blinding flash in my left eye. On a day where
That individual says he's still dealing with pain and his vision is blurry. And we spoke to another person who says he was
Look at this. Look at all the, it's disgusting. What the
shot in the ear by an agent while filming an arrest. He requested not to be named or shown on camera.
Violently dragging
They stay in the hostel.
3 officers pinning somebody down. The DHS officer standing by saw me filming. I got it on camera, saw me filming, and shot a pellet directly at me.
Got a pellet directly at me. That was Jason. Jason Starfire was there. I heard him. That was him.
Mayor Keith Wilson said 2 other officers were hurt, but neither them nor the federal officer needed treatment. And Mayor Wilson also spoke about the No Kings protests that took place in downtown Portland yesterday.
That was part of the No Kings protest. Don't try to separate them. They've been doing this. They're like, the No Kings protest was entirely peaceful, but after the protest, a lot of protesters waited outside of the ICE building and started a riot. And that's not part of the protest, though. The protest was peaceful.
He said an estimated 50,000 people marched, joining the thousands of other demonstrations that were held across the country.
Dude, if I was in one of these big-ass protests, I would not walk across a bridge. Have you guys ever heard of, what's it called? Sycophantic rhythm or something? There's a video of a bridge collapsing. When people walk, if you notice, like when people clap, as the applause goes on, it starts to get in rhythm. Everybody naturally gets into a rhythm and they're all clapping together. It's the same thing when you walk in a large group. So when you walk, this is your rhythm. If you walk in a large groups of people will naturally sync their rhythm. They'll sync up in rhythm. And so they'll all be walking together. And there was a suspension bridge. I forget where it was. We played the video years ago. But everybody was marching down the bridge. And since they were all walking in step together, the bridge collapsed. You see the bridge start swaying with the people because there's sound waves and there's a rhythm there. And it's like sycophantic rhythm. It's basically the rhythm syncs up and the bridge collapsed. And they said, under the weight of these people, there's no reason the bridge should have collapsed. Why did it collapse? It's because of the rhythm of the people walking. I would not go over a bridge in one of these protest groups.
He concluded by saying, "We celebrate all of those who peacefully and powerfully raise their voices against federal overreach, which are deeply held values in both Portland and our nation."
Yeah, the bridge can handle their weight, but the problem is the rhythm starts to line up and the bridge starts to sway and it gets more and more intense and it can bring down a whole bridge. It's crazy. Anyway, so there was that in Portland. There was the Salt Lake City thing. There was a car that drove through a crowd in Riverside, California. I don't think I have the video of that. Tear gas deployed as protesters gather in Portland.
But now everybody's pretty settled in. They've got their masks. People are passing out waters and snacks and masks. Building appear to be open.
Ooh, snacky snacks. Dude, they're like children. We got snacks, guys. Granola bars and Skittles.
Everybody's pretty settled in. They've got their masks. People are passing out waters and snacks and masks. Like I was mentioning earlier, doors of the ICE building appear to be open or broken. We're trying to get a better, closer look of that as well. Oh, a bunch of people are running. We're not sure exactly what is going on. We're going to try to avoid from being hit.
The mainstream media news people are scared.
We're not quite sure what is happening. We are seeing.
See, you see tear gas canisters flying. I think you can tell what's happening, but that's what I thought was happening when people started running.
They broke the door in, apparently. That's what I'm being told. We're seeing a lot of tear gas. People are running away. I'm so sorry for the profanity. We are trying to avoid that.
We're trying to avoid the profanity. You're at a freaking Antifa protest. You can't avoid the profanity. One of the chants is "fuck Trump."
But the tear gas is coming, blowing down the street that we're on.
Metal bridges might be okay. Suspension bridges, no.
People have stopped running. They're kind of going back, but there is a lot of activity at this very moment.
Hey, Ariel.
Got a bit of stage as well to kind of even that out.
Ariel, this is Lisa in the studio. Are you guys going to move back a little bit, just in case, in other words, you guys don't have masks on right now, just to get out of that? But like you said, the door has been breached at ICE,
we can move
which
a little
clearly.
bit further back. Yeah, so we can move a little bit further back.
Don't be scared.
The gas appears to be going down the street, not coming up to where we're at. So we're not impacted at this very moment. But if you would like us to move back, we can.
They broke.
So that was Portland. Violent encounters in Santa Ana, California. This guy got dropped out of his shoes, I guess. So it was crazy. It was a crazy day. Crazy day all over the country. A lot of the cities didn't get violent, but a lot of them did. LA is still a mess. So that's that. That's all the updates we have so far. I'll keep you updated if there's any more information to come out. Whenever this Gamboa guy goes to court, I'd like to see the trial. I'd like to stay updated on that. Sorry, I was MIA putting my 95-year-old mom to bed. 95-year-old mom. That's That's old. Cool. Build PC, sit and hide. Because you do nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. So let's go. So that's that. Let's move on to the next story. See, there's so many big stories this week. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do. I'm not going to have time to do anything. I got to hurry. We got to get through this. The same day, earlier in the morning, Saturday morning, there was I thought at first that it was part of like the protests and stuff, but it was not. There was a political, I guess what you would call a political execution or a political assassination. Well, this guy wasn't an assassin. I don't know what qualifies something as an assassination, but a man dressed as an officer in Minnesota went into the home of two Minnesota lawmakers and killed them. Now I don't know if one of the articles I read said he only killed one of them, but I thought he killed both of them. And the child called the police. Let's just read the articles. Minnesota lawmaker Melissa Hortman killed. State Senator John Hoffman wounded in targeted political violence. So they weren't husband and wife, or she just kept her name, or they were just, I don't know all the details of this. I've been too distracted with the other stuff, so we're going to learn about it right now. A masked gunman disguised as a police officer shot and killed a Minnesota state representative and her husband and wounded a state senator and his wife early Saturday in two back-to-back shootings that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz called an act of targeted political violence. Hours after the shooting, the suspected gunman, 57-year-old Vance Luther Bolter, remained on the run. This guy was on the run up until yesterday. They caught him yesterday in a field. They found a notebook in his car. They say it's not a manifesto. It was more like a notebook, and it had over 70 names and a lot of addresses of politicians. I don't know if this is true, but they're saying he was an extreme anti-abortion advocate. Now, this could just be something they're doing to smear people. I don't know. We got to take everything the news tells us with a grain of salt, because as I've been doing this sort of thing, I've seen the lies in person. I've been to the BLM riots where they said it's mostly peaceful, and the cameraman is sitting there recording a black guy hugging a white police officer, and right behind them there's a police car on fire and people breaking glass and tagging up everything. But they point the camera this way. Behind them, over here, there's a car on fire. But this way, they have a black guy giving a hug to a white police officer. And they're like, it's a mostly peaceful protest, Tom. Back to you in the booth. So the mainstream media does straight up lie to you. So, we kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt. The lawmaker who was killed was a Democratic state representative, Melissa Hortman. She and her husband, Mark, were shot and killed at their home in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Hortman, formerly the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, was a formidable public servant, the governor said of his friend. She is irreplaceable. Shortly after the shooting, State Senator John Hoffman, a Democrat, and his wife Yvette were both shot multiple times at their homes. They were undergoing surgery Saturday morning, the governor said. So here's the shooter. This is Vance Bolter. I think that's how they say his name. Look, he's got a creepy mask on. He's got like a bald guy, like a Walter White mask. That's a creepy looking mask, and he's geared up. This is Melissa Hortman. This is John Hoffman. Authorities say they're still investigating if Bolter knew the victims in Saturday's shootings, although it was known he served on a state workforce development board alongside Hoffman. Bolter helped lead the private security firm Praetorian Guard Security Services, which is based in Twin Cities area. According to a company website, a husband and father, according to an online biography, he has touted an extensive background in security and military training. Bolter was wearing a realistic latex mask at the time of the shootings, according to police. Also had a target list with names of dozens of Minnesota Democrats, according to law enforcement. They were shot around 2 a.m. After Hoffman was shot, officers were heading to proactively check on Hortman when they encountered the suspect at Hortman's Brooklyn Park home around 3:35. Officers encountered him at the home and he got away. Officers found a person who was dressed as a police officer wearing a vest and a badge and with a taser and other equipment at the door coming out of Hortman's house. The suspect fired at the officers. Gunfire was exchanged, and the suspect was able to escape and flee on foot. Wow. A list of other possible targets was retrieved from the suspect's vehicle. So at this time, when this article came out, and here we go, the shooter's list of potential targets also included the names of abortion providers and pro-choice activists. Several sources told ABC News. Many of the Democratic lawmakers on the list have been outspoken about pro-choice policy positions, two sources said. I'd like to see the list, because it's possible there were people on the right and the left there, and they're just putting this out there to smear pro-life people. I could see that. I don't know that, but I could see that. Most things we see are actually crafted to set narratives, slowly trying to get the humans to tune with it. Yeah. Military operations, urban terrain, urban tactical training. The tune has just shifted. You mean on this case, the tune has shifted? They changed. What do you mean? Because I've been sleeping all day, so I haven't seen if there's any new updates of this. Look at this. Oh, shoot, there's going to be an ad. Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, hundreds of law officers fanned out across. So this is the search. There was a manhunt for him.
Public's help at this point in time in locating Vance Luther Bolter, who is a 57-year-old white male who's 6 feet 1 inches tall, 220 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. I know this name has been reported in the media so far, and we are confirming he's a person of interest that we are looking to locate. At this time, we would ask the public.
Yeah, they said he worked with a security agency and he had military training.
Do not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous. And this was this morning when this was taken. It was in the city of Minneapolis. That's at this point, I think, all that we can share as we work to follow up on that. The question was, is the manifesto and the information that we have received as their motivations. We are working diligently on that. There's certainly some indications within that, but there's not specifics enough. We have been, this is a very active and fluid investigation. There's certainly
that's not sign language. Sign language isn't real.
Overlap with some, public meetings, I will say, with Senator Hoffman and the individual, but we don't know the nature of the relationship or if they actually knew each other. The question was, do we have an update on Senator Hoffman's condition? We don't at this time. The last information we had is that he was out of surgery and was in stable condition at that time, but that certainly experienced significant injuries, so we'll have to continue to monitor that.
But they did catch him. Had a hit list of 45 officials. Now, I've heard 70. This is NPR saying 45, but they did catch him. This is his booking photo. Apparently, he was just laying down in a field nearby where the truck was. I don't know what took him so long to find him. I don't know how he got away in the first place. You walk out of the door, and there's a whole bunch of officers out there, and they start shooting at you. How do you escape? How did he escape from that? Half of the posts on X of Iran are old videos of Iraq. Oh, yeah, you know that's going to happen. We'll get on that in 1 second. Vance Bolter, 57, was apprehended on Sunday night after what Brooklyn Park Police Chief Mark Bruley called the largest manhunt in state history. Thompson says the suspect went to the homes of 4 Minnesota state lawmakers with the intent to kill them. Said he was disguised as a police officer. He drove a black SUV with emergency lights turned on and had a license plate that said police. He carried a 9mm handgun. And they also found, they say they found 4 AK-47s in his vehicle. Tactical vest, and was disguised with a realistic silicone mask. Thompson says the suspect banged on the lawmaker's front door in the middle of the night. Why would you knock on the door, though, in the middle of the night? This was a targeted attack against individuals who answered the call to public service. The FBI special agent in charge, Alvin Whitson. Let me say this clearly. Political violence has no place in this country. Authorities found voluminous writings in the suspect's vehicle and at his home. They theorize he'd been planning and researching lawmakers for several months. Thompson says as of now, it's unclear why the alleged gunman carried out the attacks. Bolter has been charged with state and federal charges of murder, attempted murder, and other crimes. He's being held in federal custody. So they got him. We got him, boys. Minnesota, from CNN, Minnesota shooting suspect faces 6 federal charges and state first-degree murder charges, prosecutors say. First-degree murder charge, federal charges, federal charges could yield the death penalty. Bolter faces 6 federal charges, including murdering the Hortmans with a firearm. Those are eligible for the death penalty, but it's too early to tell if the federal prosecutors will pursue it. Lawmakers were targeted. National level hit list. While a motive isn't yet known, the suspect had an apparent hit list with dozens of names, officials said. The list includes prominent Democrats and figures with ties to Planned Parenthood or the abortion rights movement. Shootings unfolded on a tense day in national politics as tens of thousands. There was 10,000 in Salt Lake City. There's 50,000 in Portland. There's more like hundreds of thousands, possibly million. Participated in No Kings protests against Trump administration, and the president hosted a military parade. It was a crazy weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It was a crazy weekend.
Breaking news right now, the massive...
We'll just watch this, and then we're going to move on to Israel and Iran. And I'm not the best with geopolitics and stuff, so we're just going to read, and I'm going to try to get a little informed.
Manhunt in Minnesota comes to an end as the suspect who targeted 2 lawmakers is now in custody. Good evening. Thanks for joining
Climate change strikes again. I know, this is all climate change's fault.
us. I'm Jessica Moore. Nearly 48 hours since the assassination of one lawmaker and the attempted assassination of another.
No, I wouldn't answer a door to a cop banging in the middle of the day.
Police have tracked down the alleged shooter. This is a new photo of the suspect just into our newsroom, courtesy of the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. It appears to show him being taken into custody by officers there. Let's get right over to Jenna DeAngelis. She's live.
I think that's right, BBB, because I've had cops knock on my door many a times, and it's always 2, at least it's always 2 officers. Yeah, it's always 2 officers when they knock on your door.
In studio tonight with all the breaking details. Jenna.
Well, Jessica, as we just saw there, police now have Vance Belter in custody, and he didn't make it very far. Sources tell CBS News Minnesota Belter was arrested near his home in Green Isle, Sibley County. This comes just a few hours.
Because domestic calls are the most dangerous calls. So they always send 2 officers. I've never... I threw parties at my house in Florida when I was younger, and cops came to the house. Me and Shane got in a fight at the apartment here one time, and he called the cops, and they came. There was 2 officers. Every time I've ever been somewhere where cops knock on the door, which unfortunately has happened many times in my life, whether it was my house or other people's houses, there's always 2 officers, at least. Sometimes there's 2 officers at the door and there's another car out front with more officers in it.
After investigators detailed new evidence in the case.
Yeah, that's right, Dean.
The second day of a massive manhunt for 57-year-old Vance Belter leads investigators to the discovery.
You've had solo officers come multiple times? Well, I guess. I'd never seen it. At least not in... It's happened in multiple cities, but I don't know. Maybe that's... You're in Minnesota, though, so I don't know.
Of a car and a cowboy hat believed to belong to the suspect found about 10 minutes from his home.
We did find items of evidence in that car that are relevant
I
to
guess
this
they can.
investigation.
Minnesota authorities say this security camera image was captured just a few hours after Belter allegedly shot 2 Democratic state lawmakers and their spouses.
All right, I don't think we're going to get any more information from this, and I need to move on quickly. All right. We're going to start with Al Jazeera. Remember, Al Jazeera is Muslim propaganda news network. So Al Jazeera is very anti-Israel. This is the Muslim news network, the Muzzy news network. So we're going to look at their side, and then we're going to look at some CBS and some ABC. But apparently people are saying we may be in World War III. And I've heard conservative commentators say this is the biggest mistake Trump has made, because we may be heading a lot of people. I don't know if it's fear mongering. I don't know if it's just because so many people now are anti-Israel. It seems like it's become cool to be anti-Israel. There was always groups of people who were anti-Israel all throughout history, but usually it was frowned upon. Now it's the cool thing to do, you know. Now Candace Owens is openly saying things that Nick Fuentes got banned on everything for 6 years ago. Now Candace Owens is saying it with like millions of people watching her. It's hip now to be anti-Israel. This is how I know. This is what makes me more pro-Israel. When I see the right and the left are united in hating Israel, that tells me it's probably wrong. The wide road leads to destruction. But I'm not like some big, like, you know, let's send all our money to Israel guy. I don't hate them. Well, I also don't hate the Muzzies. So we got to love our enemies. But anyway, let's see what Al Jazeera is saying. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has warned that Israel faces a bitter and painful fate following the attack. So Israel bombed nuclear facilities in Iran. Alleged nuclear facilities. I don't even think they're real. Yeah, I was listening to a Jim Bob video, and he said nukes are fake. I've been saying that for years. Where's Stubborn One at? We know the nukes are fake. I've been telling y'all the nukes are fake, and it's finally catching on. Israel has attacked several Iranian nuclear facilities and military sites and carried out assassinations of top military officials and nuclear scientists. An initial wave of strikes was carried out on Friday morning. A second separate attack on the city of Tabriz, northwest Iran, was reported by local media later on Friday. On Friday afternoon, the semi-official state media group, the Iranian Fars news agency, reported an unofficial statistics showing that more than 70 people had been killed and more than 320 were injured in Israel's attacks. So the stuff with Hamas can't be that bad if they're able to attack Iran. First images from Tehran after Israel attacked on Iran. Israel carries out strikes targeting Iranian nuclear facility and military sites. Trump warns of chance of massive conflict amid Israel-Iran tensions. And we know Trump or any American politician is going to throw their hat in with Israel. The aggression has led to fears of wider military conflict in the region, with Tehran promising a harsh response. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei warned that Israel faces a bitter and painful fate following the attack. By God's will, the powerful hand of the armed forces of the Islamic Republic will not let Israel, go unpunished, he said. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a pre-recorded message that the strikes early on Friday were aimed at hurting Iran's nuclear infrastructure and ballistic missile factories. What has Israel attacked? They attacked the capital, Tehran, and military sites in the surrounding area. The city of Natanz, where explosions were reported at the main uranium enrichment facility. The city of Tabriz, where explosions have been reported near a nuclear research center and 2 military bases. The city of Isfahan, south of Tehran, the city of Arak, southwest of Tehran, the city of Kermanshah, west of Tehran, where an underground facility storing ballistic missiles was hit near the Iraqi border. So seems like at least these are like targeted attacks. And this is why it annoys me when people are like, oh, Israel is so bad. They're just attacking indiscriminately and blah, blah, blah. Their attacks are targeted. They send out flyers to warn things. They do knocker bombs that blow up above the roof of the building to warn the people inside to leave. It's the terrorists who put women and children in the military targets to make Israel look worse when they blow up a military target. This is not Hamas going into a music festival and killing people. These are strategic military targets that they're attacking. They're attacking nuclear facilities in Iran. I don't want Iran to have fake nukes. If nukes are real, I don't want Iran to have them. Now, I don't want Israel to have them either. They say they'll never answer that question. If you ask anybody from Piers Morgan is always having like these Israeli people on, and he always asks them, do you guys have nukes in Israel? And they'll never answer the question. So I don't want either of them to have nukes, but at least it seems like they're attacking strategic military targets. Meanwhile, we will be distracted as World War III starts. But it can't all be a distraction. Like, this can't all be a distraction. It's just craziness happening all over the world. Images posted on social media showed damaged structures, including residential buildings across the Iranian capital. Later on Friday morning, the Israeli army said it had damaged the Natanz uranium enrichment site's underground structures, including a multi-story enrichment hall with centrifuges, electrical rooms, and additional supporting infrastructure. It added that vital infrastructure at the site that allows for its continuous functioning and the continued advancement of the Iranian regime's project to obtain nuclear weapons was attacked. The atomic energy, I can't read all this. We don't have time to read all of this, but I do want to see some video. So people in chat are saying that a lot of the videos on X and stuff are old videos. We saw the same thing happen with Ukraine and Russia, where they said they blew up a hospital, and it's like, well, why we got video of that same hospital being blown up like 4 years ago? Like, there's going to be a lot of misinformation.
ساعت الان 3:37 ورودی فرحزاده پایین بالش کاملا تخریب شده و سوخته پایینش سالمه
آنچه که ملاحظه
Maps show where, this is from CBS News, maps show where Israel attacked Iran, sites of Iranian nuclear program. I don't know if I have what people are mad at Trump about. Israel's airstrikes on Iran Friday targeted Iranian nuclear facilities, scientists and senior military say. So here's the map. I'm the map. Tabriz, Karaj, Pir Ansar, Sardasht, Kermanshah, Subashi. Strike hits radar site. Strikes damage several buildings in Tehran, Karaj, Natanz. Strike reported at a nuclear facility. Strike hits oil refinery. Strike hits world largest gas reserve in South Pars. They strike the oil depot. So these are all the places where bombs were dropped. And people are saying that we could be going into World War III now because Trump is standing behind Netanyahu. Strike dismantled a facility for producing metallic uranium, infrastructure for reconverting gas station heroin. What was that? For reconverting enriched uranium laboratories and additional infrastructure. nuclear installations in Iran, nuclear power plant, research reactor, other nuclear sites, plant under construction, uranium mine. So, of course, I don't know what to believe. Hold on, where's this video going?
Of course, with that breaking news this morning from Israel says it sent around 200 warplanes to attack Iranian military sites and its nuclear program overnight. Those strikes also killed several Iranian generals. Iran's supreme leader promised, in his words, severe punishment for this attack. Ramy Inocencio is following all of this. Ramy, this is a big, very scary story. What can you tell us?
Yes, good morning. And strikes and counterstrikes are continuing today. Israel says Iran launched over 100 drones this morning, but Iran denies that while saying that Israel hit multiple new sites today. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed more attacks for...
I don't see any of your comments being banned, Bentop. But I guess I wouldn't know if they didn't let it get posted. I wouldn't know. YouTube won't let me say anything imperialistic about this conflict.
For, quote, as many days as it takes to neutralize Iran. Roaring off to attack Iran, Israel says 200 fighter jets struck more than 100 targets in the capital Tehran and dozens of sites across the country in Operation Rising Lion, including Iran's heart of uranium enrichment, Natanz, with its thousands of centrifuges deep underground, said Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9.
And within a few months or less than a year, he said, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon. Israeli warplanes also hit nuclear sites in Isfahan, Tabriz, and Arak, killing leading nuclear scientists, and military sites in Parchin and Kermanshah. At least 20 senior commanders were also killed, including Hossein Salami, chief of Iran's elite military...
Salami? Hussein Salami? That's my favorite. No, I don't want to say that. Pause on that. That's my favorite meat. Hussein Salami?
Intelligence force, the Revolutionary Guards. Residents in this Tehran neighborhood were dazed. Others called for Israel's destruction. These are Israel's final breaths. God willing, said this nurse, some peace will come. Some Israelis preparing for Iran's promised retaliation.
These are Israel's final breaths. Some peace will come. Does that mean Iran is going to want to wipe out Israel now?
Also invoked God.
God is always with us.
Which God?
We can't wait till they do something, then it'll be too late.
And Iran now says it will not join nuclear talks set for this Sunday, but Steve Witkoff, President Trump's Mideast envoy, is still expected to go to Oman, at least for now. Iran's supreme leader has vowed severe punishment, and its military said that Iran would exact a heavy price on Israel and the United States for these attacks. Nate.
And the United States. So they're threatening the United States. I mean, if we're providing the missiles, we're probably providing both sides everything they need. That's how we usually do it. I'm not proud of that. I don't like that. I'm not total isolationist, but I'm more isolationist than sending two warring countries armaments for both sides.
Ramy, thank you.
What a mess. Get out of here. One more article. Israel, Iran updates. Iran launches more missiles at Israel. Sirens sound in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. U.S. told Israel President Trump opposed to plan to kill Iranian supreme leader. Trump says it's possible U.S. could get involved in Israel-Iran conflict. It's likely, I'd say. Iran doesn't believe U.S. was not involved in the strikes. So Trump is saying we were not involved in these strikes, but if we're providing the missiles then in a way we are involved. But Trump says we're not going to get involved. 13 killed in Israel by 2 nights of Iranian strikes, Prime Minister said. Minor damage at the U.S. Embassy building in Tel Aviv. Minor damage American Embassy branch office in Tel Aviv on Sunday night due to the concussion of Iranian missile hits nearby. Huckabee said there were no injuries of U.S. personnel. American diplomatic offices in Israel remain closed alongside a shelter-in-place order for U.S. personnel. 3 dead, over 70 injured in Israel after Iranian strikes. Iran launches more missiles at Israel. Sirens sound in Tel Aviv. Dude, could you imagine living in this area and just constantly seeing missiles being launched into the sky for like the past forever? Forever. There's just constant missiles launching in the air. Crazy. IDF conducts strikes in central Iran. IDF says over 100 UAVs have been intercepted so far. That's by their Iron Dome. We got to get the Golden Dome here in America. At least 224 killed, over 1,200 injured in Israeli strikes. So Iran killed 13. Israel killed 224. One side knows how to aim. That's the takeaway here. U.S. told Israel President Trump opposed to plan to kill Iranian Supreme Leader. The U.S. communicated to the Israelis that President Trump is opposed to a plan to kill Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, adding that Iran has not killed an American and discussions of killing political leaders should not be on the table, according to a U.S. official. So what are the conservatives mad at Trump about? He's saying he was against the plan. The IDF said in a statement that there were several hits inside Israel following the latest missile attack. Trump rejected Israeli plan to kill Iran's supreme leader per U.S. officials. It's unclear if Trump conveyed the message directly to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Reuters was the first to report the news. There's so many false reports of conversations that never happened, and I'm not going to get into that. But I can tell you, I think we do what we need to do. We'll do what we need to do, and the United States knows what is good for the United States, and I'm just not going to get into all that. Trump says it's possible U.S. could get involved. It's possible we could get involved in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran. The president made the comments to ABC News' Rachel Scott. He also reiterated that the U.S. is not at this moment involved. And see, if people hear that and they get mad about that, that's just the way Trump talks. You ask him a question about a strategic military operation, he says, I don't know. It's possible. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We'll find out. Like, he's not going to tell you what our military is about to do. IDF says more missiles launched. U.S. non-emergency personnel authorized to leave Israel. Iran doesn't believe the U.S. was not involved. Israeli jets flying nonstop over Iran for 50 hours. So this is crazy. People are saying it's a possible World War III situation. Nice melons. Can't even tell what side I was taking. Well, don't take a side in this. We don't have to take a side. We don't have to take a side in this. Like, I don't like Iran. I'm not really a huge fan of Israel. We just got to love everybody. It sounds cuddly and sweet. Sometimes love means turning them into a parking lot. You know, sometimes that's love. But we don't have to pick a side in this. I pick the U.S. That's the side I pick. But then in the U.S., there's different sides. So we don't have to pick sides. Just seek God in his right way along with nothing else, and everything will be added unto you. I support whatever side is correct. And sometimes we don't know what that is. I'm not going to be like, let's go Israel, or F Israel, let's go Iran. Neither one. I don't want to get involved. Let the damn desert dwellers fight. I don't care. But it's about oil, and I don't even believe in nukes. So, you know, it's about the oil. Flock of seagulls. Made me censor myself to the point where I could refer to the country of Iran at all. Well, you just referred to the country of Iran. How did you do it just now, but you couldn't do it before? W, the watermelon shirt. All right, guys, we got to go quick. We didn't do any memes last week, so we got to do the memes this week. This is the feel good, happy part of the show, because after this in rapid fire, we got more messed up stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to have time to get into the Palantir thing, and we really need to do some research into Palantir, because I've been on like VK, and when I was talking to Radical Coder, people were bringing it up earlier in the week, and as I'm listening to all the content that I listen to while I'm at work, people just keep mentioning Palantir. So I want to be informed about it. By now I know what's going on, but I haven't really dug into it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I don't know if we're going to have time, because I got a lot of memes. We got 2 weeks worth of memes piled up. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure there's nothing in here that I forgot to delete, like screenshots of my account information when I pay my bills or anything like that. Speaking of that, I guess my internet bill got paid because I'm on the internet right now. I forgot. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, I paid it. Okay, cool. All right. This should. Here, let's go studio mode. Browser main one, window capture photos. All right. Guys, it's time. Oh, and also, I get paid tomorrow. We're gonna get the Steam Deck, so I'll have my sound effects back once I figure out how to get it all set up and all that stuff. Hopefully by next week we'll have sound effects again. He did it by waiting a few comments after last and saying the name without referencing everything else. Had to refer to Muslims as museums and Iran as ions. I missed that, chat, but you just referenced Muslims and Iran in that comment. So I don't get why they would. I don't know. But guys, it's time for the memes. Sig Newtons. We got a lot of memes, so we're gonna go quick through these. You guys ever have Sig Newtons 5 grams of real tar per 29 gram servings? Sig Newtons. That looks delicious. Next. California unveils massive new escape room called California. Can you make it out alive? You got to creep through all these tents and needles and poop on the ground. That'd be a scary escape room. Sig Newton's W. Next. POV, you're a Romanian legionary and you just pulled up to Britannia. Oh, hold on. You can't see it. Hold on. Just gotta fit it a little better. Okay. Yuck. Yeah. Hello, mate. Would you like some toffee and briskets? I don't know what. Toffee and telly. A spot of tea. Would you like a spot of tea? Next. White Tyson. Looks like John Cena. Dude, is John Cena related to Mike Tyson? White Tyson. I'll eat your children. I'll eat your children. You till you love me. Next. 2024. Oh, yeah, it's Pride Month. We didn't play our Pride Month song. 2024. Everything was rainbow. Remember 2025? None of them did it. Pride Month is dead, ladies and gentlemen. No more Pride Month. That's what winning. We're winning. Hello, brov. Next. You wouldn't be arresting me if I was a polar bear. This is racism. Wait, this cop is patting down this grizzly. It's not even a black bear. It would have been funnier if it was a black bear. It's a brown bear. But if it was a white bear, they wouldn't be arresting him. Next. Katy Perry solved a mystery once. Now she thinks she's Scooby-Doo. These Katy Perry astronaut memes are never going to get old. All right. Raggy, Rama, Red, and Raffney. He's a biter. Welcome to California. Yeah. Next. Boise Pride season kickoff canceled due to low attendance. Nice. Winning, sir, winning. W's in the chat for the end of Pride Month. It's over, boys. Next. Ever wonder if Asians make fun of Caucasians? Look at me. My name is Elizabeth, and I am from Los Angeles. Ha 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 ha. Oh, look at me. My name is Elizabeth, and I am from Los Angeles. Holding their eyes open. Scary. Nice boobs. Elizabeth. Next. Certified lover boy, certified peep. That's Elon. Elon Lamar. Elondrick Lamar. Certified lover boy, certified peep. This is related to Elon calling out Trump. Speaking of that, updates on that. The battle between Trump and Elon did end, and Elon actually apologized for his tweets. He lost. Trump won. You apologize, you lose. You're a loser. Apology accepted, though, Elon. I still think the Elon-Trump beef was a 4D chess plan. Elon was on his way out anyway, which we talked about when he was leaving. I said Elon was always planning on leaving after 134 days. That's when his thing ended. He left. On his way out, I think they said, let's have a Twitter beef, and that'll get people back on my side. Caitlin Bennett went to a protest with a sign that said, Trump or Elon, who do you pick? All the Democrats were like, I pick Elon. They want their Teslas back. They sold their Tesla. Now they got to get their Tesla back. Democrats were keying their Teslas. Now MAGA's keying their Teslas. But I think that was all part of it was just a plan to get Tesla stocks back up, to get Elon back in the public eye, considered a good guy in the public eye. I think that was all part of the big plan, and it worked because now all the Democrats loved Elon again. I have large hands. Next. No pride in gay life. The facts. Gays, 1% of the population, 33% of the child. Beep. 67% of all AIDS cases, 78% have a sexual disease. They have lifespans 20 years shorter than normal. 28% of gay men have had 200 partners or more. 23% of children who had lesbian mothers have been SM'd by a parent or other adult. Grape and SA before age of 16 are strictly correlated with homosexual behavior. Gays believe that body's waste disposal unit is a sex organ. I can't read that one. It says something about it was in the DSM-5 as a mental disorder or DSM-4 or something. Suicide say levels among gays are significantly higher than heterosexuals. Homosexuality is 3 times more fatal than smoking or obesity. That's a lot to be proud of. A lot to be proud of. Yeah. Also, not to mention, and this people think I'm joking when I say this. Incontinence issues due to loose sphincter and loose anus. It's a true thing. A lot of old people need Depends when they get older because of incontinence. Is that the right word? Incontinence. Basically, you do to yourself, and that naturally happens when you get older. But with the gays, it happens a lot younger. You just start doodling on yourself because you know you got a weak sphinx. You got a weak sphincter. That's not a. I'm joking, but I'm also. That's a real thing that does happen. It's gross. Next. Loose Anus, great name for a band. Next. This is just a post from the SLC protest thing. Maybe I should have blocked this chick's name out, but whatever. She posted it publicly. I just want to show you how crazy these people are. The virtue signaling of liberal white women. I'm writing this from a sincere place, so please forgive the inherent white privilege of this post. I live in a predominantly white neighborhood. I just saw a black neighbor pulled over by the police. I didn't notice him doing anything. I don't know why he was stopped. It feels weird that the one black driver was stopped in the line of traffic. Should I stop, watch to make sure he is okay, or keep driving? Am I overthinking? Yeah, Karen, you're overthinking. It's actually racist that you would even post this. Just the fact that you think this is racist. If racism is real, this is racism. This is called the soft bigotry of low expectations. You see a black guy pulled over, and you think differently than if you saw a white person pulled over. If racism is real, that's racism. You're a racist, Rebecca. That's why you feel uncomfortable about this situation, because you're a racist. Next. The ranch I want, the ranch I can afford. Hey, I tell you what, though, I'm happy with both. I love some ranch. Next. How people with Ukrainian flags in their profile check their temperature. Beep. Gay. Survey says gay. Incontinence, yet because the muscles in the bladder and the anus weaken so fully it makes sense. Yeah, it's a real thing. Next. When she leaves work, I bet she yells out, "May the Schwartz be with you." Next. Vegan cheesecake. It's a dirt clod. It's a grass. It's a chunk of dirt with grass in it. Next. US us too. Hashtag us too. This is crazy. Why haven't more black women been sexually harassed? The internet's no one wants to be sexually harassed in the workplace, but everyone would like to think that they're worthy of being sexually harassed in the workplace. Why aren't as many black women getting sexually harassed in the workplace? This is crazy. Nobody's going to sexually harass you, Shaniqua. Damn. Next. So how is summer break going? Me, Kathy McVeigh, hit by a flying hot dog. Damn. Sorry, Kathy. Who's just chucking hot dogs at this poor old woman? This poor lady. Next. Oh, this is bad. It's Juneteenth's coming up, guys. Picture perfect moments made easy. What's the difference between this family portrait and this family portrait? Family fun in every photo. What's the difference here? One of these families is not like the other. What's the difference? Anybody see the difference? Next. Okay. Who's this? This is the heck's his name? Not Dick Cheney. Is it Dick Cheney? I think it's Cheney. Yeah. Did a disinformation about WMDs killing 1 million people, $0 in fines. I think this lady's part of the Sackler family or something. She's related to that. Declared Oxycontin safe and effective, killing hundreds of thousands, $0 in fines. Then we got AJ. Conspiracy theorists caused 0 fatalities, fined $1 billion. Interesting. Next. Never forget, stay home so we can make COVID disappear like the security footage from Epstein's cell. Dude, Bongino and freaking Patel came out and said that Epstein did kill himself. They said, we've seen the video, but there is no video. So you said there's no video, and now you say you've seen the video. Which is it? Dude, Epstein, I've been saying for a long time, Epstein's on an island somewhere. Well, he was on an island before. He's still on an island somewhere. Next. When people say kids don't need to know how to write because they have spell check. Chipotle. No more vinegar sauce. Sorry, we apologize. No more vinegar. Wait a second. Hey, whoa. You misspelled vinegar. Hold up, next. Let's get that off the screen. Whoa. That is not how you spell vinegar. There needs to be a meme about how everyone has a manifesto. Well, I know, and everybody writes a book these days. He's just an island kind of guy. He's an island boy. He's an island boy. Me explaining to my NPC in-laws that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself and is likely under the custody of a federal witness protection program. Conspiracy nut. You conspiracy theorist next. This is so funny. Oh, look. This corner available. Your mom quit her job. That is funny. Next. The Rocky Mountains. Adrian. Hey, Adrian. Yo, Adrian. Adrian, we did it. Bum, 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 bum. Rocky Mountains. Next. There's no caption on this one. It's just a funny picture. Dude, that's so accurate. She's thick, though. I told you guys. This is not the same. This is not what I mean when I say birthing hips. Okay? This is not natural. This is a psyop from the hip-hop community. And who runs the hip-hop community? I'm just saying. Ask Kanye. He knows. Next. Your lackadaisicalness is disadvantageous. I propound you all vamoose with great importunity. Oh, crap. A thesaurus. It's a thesaurus rex. This dinosaur is very verbose. Overtly verbose. He needs to stop talking so much and go build a dang pyramid. Next. Damn, baby, you got that extra crispy. You got that secret recipe. It's a thesaurus rex. Next. Oh, this one was supposed to be in here. New face, dude, guys, this article is from 2020. I was talking about this. I didn't never seen this article before, but I talked about this years ago. People think masks, these dumbass protesters and stuff, they think masks will hide their identity from facial recognition software. They're wrong. The eyes are the most descriptive part of your whole body. Your eyes are more unique and identifiable than your fingerprint. There's more unique things in your eye than in the fingerprint. They have satellites that can zoom in on your eyeball from space. They've had these for decades. And the eye is the most identifiable part of the human face. The way facial recognition software works is it has a bunch of reference points on your face, and it maps your face, and it uses all these like dots as reference points to do facial recognition. The mask eliminates half of the face, making the facial recognition software able to isolate the most important part of the face easier, which is the eyes. So now you've eliminated half of the reference points. The computer can more, it can isolate your eyes better. And that is how masks actually help facial recognition software identify you easier. So anybody who tells you that a mask, these Antifa people, these rioters, they'll say, wear a mask so the facial recognition, in the Zoom call that they did for the No Kings protest, they're like, wear a mask so the facial recognition software won't be able to spot you. No, dumbass. Your mask makes it easier for the facial recognition software to identify you. New facial recognition tech only needs your eyes and eyebrows. You won't be able to hide behind a mask. It's the same tech. It's just you're reducing the number of reference points by putting on a mask. It can isolate your eyes easier. Less data needs to be transferred to analyze your whole face if they can just focus on your eyes. That's the most identifiable part. They're just going to cover their entire face. That's true. That's true. Eye hole detectors are next. Next. This is so funny. I don't know if this is real, but it's funny. Black and brown Minnesotans get worse sleep than white people. Researchers at the University of Minnesota say it's hurting their health. Listen to this. This is fucked up. One example, in many Somali homes in the Twin Cities, smoke detectors with low batteries beep around the clock. Many believe the devices beep when they're working properly. Abdi Fattah said, or it's the landlord's responsibility to fix them. Such misinformation could be corrected with a community-wide effort. So the Somalians in Minnesota, in little Somalia, in the Twin Cities, they're not getting good sleep because the smoke detectors. Now, that's fucked up. Okay. Chirp. Next. The Bible refers to vegetables 13 times. It refers to meat 290 times. Eat biblically. That's right. Next. Number of genders. From 4004 BC to 2020 AD, there were 2. From 2021 to 2024, there were 73. In present day, there's 2 again. And this bar graph looks like a penis. You see the... You see the shaft and the nuts in the graph? Papa Shago says, I lost my eyebrows in a welding accident and my guns in a boating accident. Next. Eating my $70 sandwich that I paid $50 for on DoorDash. And you know what's crazier? That $7 sandwich is a McChicken from McDonald's. That $7 sandwich was $1 8 years ago. Next. Trump responds to mostly peaceful protests with mostly peaceful military. Thank you, Babylon B. It's mostly peaceful Marines that we're sending in. It's going to be all right, guys. Next. From Pride Times, Satan is an ally. I was looking through medieval drawings of demons the other day. Turns out Satan is an ally. Spoiler alert, you didn't have to tell us that. Look at this. This is Satan marrying 2 guys and 2 women. I don't know if this is real, but it's funny. Next. Little known fact. Before the crowbar was invented, crows simply drank at home. Yeah, it was like prohibition. I just made that up. Let's go. Before the crowbar was invented, it was a time of prohibition. So the crows just ate at home. They ate in their crow's nest. Next. Remember, turn your computer off before midnight on 12/31/99. I was there 3,000 years ago. You guys remember Y2K? Some of you might not have been alive in Y2K. That's crazy to think about. We got anybody who wasn't alive? Do we have anybody under the age of 25 in chat? Probably not. I think my demographic is a little older than that. But if you're under 25 years old, you don't remember Y2K. You think this is the first apocalypse scare? I've been through like 12 different end of the world scares. And I'm only 30. How old am I? I'm not even sure if I'm 37 or 38. I think I'm 38. I think. Every birthday I have to do like a Google search to figure out how old I am. Next. Feeling recoil while live firing. Ha ha ha. Yes. The recoil makes me feel powerful. Here's Alec Baldwin. Feeling recoil while dry firing. Oh, shit. You guys know the Rust movie came out? Has anybody seen it? I think it did horrible, which is to be expected when it's delayed because the main actor in the movie murdered a girl or murdered a guy. That's why you don't have women as your armorer. Next. Love is love. Water is water as they drink out of the toilet. No, not all water is equal and not all love is the same. There's 12 different Latin words that mean love. They all mean something different. Love is not love. There's gay love. There's brotherly love. There's familial love. There's lust or sexual love. There's unconditional love. God's love. Freaking all kinds of love. Gay love. Did I say that already? Gray water. Yeah. All water is not the same. You can't just drink any water, any old water. Hard water, soft water. Sobe life water, smart water. Yep. Next. Portable, and not potable. I think it's potable. I think it's potable water, not portable. Water salad, water stew, water gumbo, water kebab, ice, steam, water. Next. I think I finally found my spirit plant. Look at this cactus. Yo, that cactus ain't having none of it. That cactus said, F off, buddy. That is a cool cactus. Next. Wait, it went away. CNN says the R word is back. How a slur became normalized. The R slur. The R slur is back, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, it went away? I know. I never stopped calling people retarded. I didn't know we stopped. When did we stop? Now, if we could just get back the word fat. Now, if we can just get back the word fascist, bundle of sticks, you know? Now, if we could just get that word back. Dude, when I was a kid, me and Ben and Joey, my two brothers, all of our names was basically rhymes with bag, hag, stag. All of our names were that because that's all we called each other. Like, I don't know. And then one day it just disappeared. Remember Call of Duty lobbies on the Xbox? Yeah, I don't even want to say that because it's too close. Next. It doesn't matter who you click with. Happy Pride. Happy hashtag Pride Amsterdam from the Royal Dutch Airlines. Okay. These are airplane seatbelts. This is an advertisement from an airlines that supports Pride Month. These are Rainbow Airline seatbelts. And they say it doesn't matter who you click with. Happy Pride Month. Just FYI. If you're on an airplane and there's like a DEI female pilot who wants to land the plane upside down, if you try to put your seatbelt on this way, you're going to die. If you try to put your seatbelt on this way, you're going to die. The only way you can put your seatbelt on is this way. All other ways equal death. So I'd recommend this is like dangerous misinformation. You're going to have people getting on gay airlines and thinking that they can be safe by putting their seatbelt on like this or like this. It's not going to work. Oh, for the love of penis. Oh my God, AI video has gotten so realistic, we're all doomed. Oh my God, the FBI is going to release Epstein's suicide video. You dumb, gullible people. Next. Speaking of landing a plane upside down. Oops, woman gets an offender bender. Oops, woman grounds the freaking naval ship. Remember this story? Oops, we landed the plane upside down. And then what they should have had on here is the spacewalk ladies who lost the toolbox in space. A toolbox that each tool probably cost $10,000 floating out in space somewhere in the first lady spacewalk. Was watching your live on my live when all that shit was going down crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. It was wild. I wish my quality was better. I noticed I went back and watched it. Whenever I had the face camera, the camera that was facing me, it was clear and crisp. Whenever I turned around to the back camera, it got all blurry. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why it was doing that, but the quality was garbage. That's why I kind of think I should just not do it live, but record it video and then edit it and put out a video because it comes out. It looks a lot better when it comes out. But shout out, Jake. Next, walking into the supermarket during June, dodging gay flags. It's Neo. Fortunately, this year, that's not the case. I'm not seeing a whole lot, little bit of Pride Month stuff, but it's not like it was last year. That's for sure. Next. Democrat, we got to get through these, man. How many do I have? I have like 50 memes. Democrats who sold their Teslas 3 months ago reading X today. They took a big L, and then Elon came out against Trump, and now they're like, damn, I wish I loved my Tesla. I need my Tesla back. Yep, Pride stocks are down. That's true. Next. How to calm a trans woman. You need to calm down, sir. You get it? Because telling a woman you need to calm down pisses them off, and calling a trans woman sir pisses them off. This is the worst thing you could say to a trans person. Next. Oh, we're not going to have time to do the Palantir stuff if I don't hurry up. Blue power, red power, green power. Wait a second. Rid a tick. You don't have any power, White Ranger. Next. How dare you destroy my planet with ice caps are melting. Antarctica gains ice for the first time in decades. I stand with Gaza. This Greta. Shout out Greta. Is she in jail still? Next. Or no, she got flown back. And they put her in coach. It blows my mind how there are 3.8 billion women on this earth, and it's still not clean yet. Yeah, you guys want to clean the environment. You got 3.8 billion women. Clean the environment. Next. Free meal to anyone over 80 years old, if accompanied by both parents. Epic move. That's 4D chess right there. White Ranger and Kimosabi. Next. Pride Month in the Middle East. Abdul, get the rocks. Abdul, get the rocks. I need more lemon pledge to clean up the environment. Next. Entertaining cheese. After standing there for 10 minutes, I got bored and left. This cheese is not entertaining me at all. Next. Dress up like Dominoes, they said. Yo, Clarissa freaking got it right. All these people are lame. Whoever, Lisa actually dressed up like Dominoes. Next. FBI discovers cache of guns, armor, and paraphernalia while raiding home in Washington state. Why are there always creases in the flags? Hey, why are there always creases in the flags? I think I have another picture of this so you can see what we're talking about here. But so they find a house with a bunch of guns in it. And in a picture, they have a SS and a Swazi flag. But if you look, I don't think you guys can tell. I think I have another picture of it. Yeah, here we go. Nice, brand new, just opened up flags, Fed boys. We see through all the government fake news and media psyops now. Look at these flags. These flags are creased like they just got unfolded for the picture. Photo op for the Swazi flag. These flags are brand new. If you hang a flag on a wall, well, you can still kind of see creases in my flag. But not like this. Anyway. Next. You should have to pass a drug test to receive welfare, since I must pass one to earn it for you. That's a good point. You should have to pass a drug test and have a job to get food stamps and welfare, because who pays for your welfare? I do, through my taxes, through my job that possibly drug tested me. So if I have to pass a drug test to have a job, to pay taxes, to provide for you, you should have to pass a drug test to get it. Smoking spaceman, you want me fluff pillow? What? Did you see those whiny protesters go to Egypt and get beat up by random civilians? Take care of your flags, gentlemen. Next. Pallets of bricks have arrived in LA, says Newsom, to rebuild homes destroyed by wildfires, right? To rebuild homes destroyed by wildfires, right, Gavin? Nope, not right. Next. The Berenstain Bears call ICE on their enemies. ICE is getting the pandas. Oh, pandas are not real, guys. They're robots. Next. Feminists when the World War III draft starts. What do you want for dinner, honey? I'm going to clean the house and make you your favorite meal today. Ask your bartender. Welcome to Bronze. Hey, thank you for the membership. Ask your bartender. Shout out. Next. Plumbers crack camouflage. This is awesome. Dude, when I first looked at this, I thought that was a woman's cleavage. And then I realized that's a man's ass crack. Pause. Pause on that. Let's move on. Next. Tables are for eating customers only. No loitering. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Dude, Hannibal Lecter loves this restaurant. Tables are for eating customers only. Next. Look into her eyes challenge. Guys, look into her eyes. Stare deeply into her eyes. Wait, what's that say on her shirt? You failed, bro. You failed. Titties. Yeah, when I looked at this meme, I read look into her eyes challenge, and I don't think I ever looked into her eyes. Not once. Next. I don't want to deport them. Oh, this one's funny. I don't want to deport them anymore. You finally want to welcome them? You want to welcome them, right? No, I don't want to deport them anymore. I was thinking if we deport them, they might just come back. Maybe there's a more final solution, I guess you could say. Ooh, was that too much? Did I go too far with that one? Next. Boobs. This is actually a real comment from the Salt Lake City protest thing where it said, it was saying bring skateboards, scooters, bikes to the protest because a wheeled instrument can help you get out of danger quickly. Or a skateboard could be used as a shield in case of trouble. And these people say, this guy says a full hydro flask that has a handle on the top is convenient too, implying a weapon. Maybe they're just saying for water, but if you read the whole post, I didn't get the whole post. I shouldn't have even kept this in here, but it basically was saying, you know, be ready to do something violent next. Fuck America. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck America. Viva la Mexico. Okay, buddy, back to Mexico you go then. No, please don't make me go back. I don't want to go back. No, sir, no. No. Hail Hydro Flask. And that's it for the memes. Okay. No more memes. We're not going to have time to do the Palantir stuff because I got to go in like 25 minutes. There's a couple. I got some funny reels. There's a little bit of rapid fire news. A lot of shootings this week. A lot of shootings this week. Let's watch some funny reels. Hold on. Okay. I don't like lady comedians, but this lady's actually funny. Let's listen. This is Leonarda Joni. This is actually pretty funny.
The crazier you can be. Men will put up with it. But the opposite is also true. This is why fat girls used to be so nice. But then the internet and a bunch of black dudes convinced them that they were hot too. Now you can't even talk to one. Relax, bitch. You can't have an attitude and type 2 diabetes. If you're over 300 pounds, you need to be as sweet as your blood sugar. These fat white girls who get with a black dude and then they're like, see, I'm not racist. And I'm like, come on, Cheryl. It's not like you had a choice. It's like when black dudes are like, I don't even like them skinny white girls. I'm like, come on, Daryl. It's not like you had a choice either.
That was actually pretty good. Okay. Check this out. This one's funny.
Mom, can I have a popsicle? No, honey, you'll spoil
It's really quiet.
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution.
She had to put the baby in the garbage disposal. What the? The first ever funny woman. I know, that's why I put that in there. It's rare that you see a funny woman, but she's putting the baby in the garbage disposal. Look at this little girl. It's so funny.
The dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's
military-trained scientist doctors from NASA.
powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
That's Grumple. This is chloroform. Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. Okay, here we go. Look at this kid fighting a goat. This child's fighting a goat. Okay. I just thought that was awesome. How to tame a lion. What would you do in this situation? You have a lion.
Here's how to get out of that situation. Kick the first lion in the chin, grab it, suplex it, then ride it down the stairs like a sled. Use the momentum to kick it into the wall, catch it off the rebound, choke it with your legs. For the second lion, you've got the high ground advantage, so just diving headbutt it into the wall down below. If you still drink chocolate milk as an adult, this will be easy for you.
Okay. All right. All right. Rapid fire news. This stuff's depressing. West Valley City, which is here in Utah, Salt Lake City. 3 killed and 2 injured in West Valley Festival shooting. This happened yesterday. So we had the shooting at the protest, and then the next day, Sunday, we had another shooting at a festival in West Valley. 3 people were killed, including an 8-month-old infant in a shooting at West Valley Festival. 5 people were shot at Centennial Park Sunday night. An 18-year-old male, a 41-year-old female, and an 8-month-old infant died from their wounds. Officials said the shooting took place during a West Fest, an annual city festival, after 2 groups of people had a verbal altercation. 2 groups of people had a verbal altercation. Let's keep reading, because when I read that, my sensors start going off, my feelers start going off, and I start thinking, were they like young party goers? Were they youths? 2 groups of youthful party goers? 2 groups of urban teens? Because my senses start going out. Because if it was a different situation, it would probably say a white man with a gun. When it doesn't say that, when it says 2 groups of people, urban youths, 2 groups of young youthful party goers, 2 groups of festival goers, what does that usually mean? But we don't know yet. Police approached the groups to break up the altercation when a 16-year-old male suspect pulled out a gun and fired several times toward the other group. The other group. What is group code word for in these situations? An officer returned fire and did not hit the suspect. The 16-year-old was immediately taken into custody. Police say he is only the only suspect in the shooting. All victims were injured as a result of his gunfire. And who can't aim? You know? When 2 groups are shooting indiscriminately at each other and a child gets hit and an 18-year-old gets hit, it's likely the shooter is holding the gun sideways like O-Dog. Shoot a ninja in his face, knock his nose off. Make the girl say my name like roll call. 3 guys, 1 truck. Yes, Robert gets it. Robert gets what I'm leading to with this. A pregnant woman was also injured. Yeah. You guys have seen Boys in the Hood, right? Where they do a drive-by and like 4 people, 1 guy's got a shotgun, 1 guy's got a Uzi, 2 guys got a pistol, and they all lean out the window and they fire at somebody standing in their front yard, and no bullets hit the guy that they're aiming at, but they hit an old man, they hit a little girl playing jump rope, they hit a handicapped person who's already in a wheelchair from catching a stray bullet years before, but none of them hit the target. Yeah. I blame COD aim assist. Pregnant woman was also injured. It's heartbreaking. Vinuku says it's not okay, here we go. Vinuku said it is not clear if this shooting was gang related. It is still in the early, well, at least they mentioned it. Police will not be releasing the name of the suspect as he is a juvenile. He is just a youth. He's one of the youths. But they plan to give the identities of the deceased victims on Monday. And this will also not be counted as a mass shooting. I hope they charge him as an adult and name him. This kind of gang violence is very disturbing, especially. This is comments from people who commented on this. All illegal gang members all over West Valley and Midvale. Funny how no one is mentioning need for gun control. Well, yeah, they're not going to mention need for gun control when it's, illegal immigrant gang violence or black on black crime. It won't even be counted as a mass shooting. the feds won't even keep numbers or data on this because the data would be racist. Wow. Wow. Next. Phoenix shooting downtown leaves one person dead. Phoenix Police Department responded to a shooting. So somebody, while I was at the protest, somebody told me this. This shooting didn't have anything to do with the protests. But there was another shooting in Phoenix. One person died. The reason for the watermelon and the watermelon computer is Juneteenth is coming up. Juneteenth, historic holiday. Bro, somebody said this is the oldest American holiday. They're like, I think it was Jalen. He's like, Juneteenth is the oldest American holiday. It's the first American holiday. I'm like, no, you dumbass. Thanksgiving is the first American holiday. What are you talking about? Juneteenth is the first American holiday. Juneteenth is coming up, guys. This is the pre-Juneteenth show. 3 days. A lot of cities are already doing block parties and things like that. And probably next week, I'll probably be covering more shootings because every year on Juneteenth, there's always multiple shootings. So how much you want to bet we'll have a handful of them next week? Hold on. Juneteenth, the federal holiday that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. That's a lie. That's not what. Juneteenth does not commemorate the end of slavery. We already have a day. I forget what day it is, but there's already a day where we commemorate the end of slavery. Juneteenth commemorates the day that the last slaves found out that slavery was over. So in Texas, a lot of them didn't even, in a lot of states in the South, the slave owners didn't tell the slaves that slavery had ended. And so groups had to go around and inform the slaves and the slave owners, hey, slavery's over. You can go home now. A lot of them still didn't leave. A lot of those slaves stayed and worked for their owners and then ended up buying the plantations that they grew up on and own them still today. Fun fact. But Juneteenth does not celebrate the end of slavery. Juneteenth celebrates the day that the last group of slaves found out that slavery had ended. So this article's misleading. Let's listen.
This Wednesday marks Juneteenth, and while there are events honoring this moment in history, many people gathered to celebrate this weekend. Fox 13's Shira Matsuzawa has a look at some of those
Shira Matsuzawa. Dude, are there any white people in the news anymore?
events.
Reading a proclamation from the Montlake Terrace mayor.
I, Mayor Kyoko Matsumoto, write on behalf of the city.
That guy's name is not, that's a fake name. There is no way that dude's name is Kyoko Matsumoto. No freaking way. Ibla. No way your real name is Kyoko Matsumoto. I don't believe that. Where were you born? Who are your parents? That's a fake name.
Council, you hereby proclaim June 19th as Juneteenth Independence Day.
This is how the first Juneteenth More Than a Day event kicked off on Saturday. An event honoring the freeing of the
Challenge like Rosa. You mean Rosa Parks? You mean the NAACP operative that was put in place instead of Claudette Colvin for the bus protests because she was too young and she got pregnant out of wedlock when she was 16 years old and it looked bad. So you put Rosa Parks in her place to do the movement. She was a NAACP plant. That was not natural. That was not grassroots. Dream like Martin. Oh, you mean the socialist wife beater. Lead like Harriet. Harriet Tubman, the lady that they claim did the Underground Railroad and saved thousands of black people. She snuck off a plantation with like 3 dudes. That's it. Fight like Malcolm. Malcolm X, the violent radical Nation of Islam leader that thought that freaking Muhammad went up in a spaceship with what's his name? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Actually, Malcolm X was based after he went to Mecca because he realized once he went to Mecca that racism doesn't exist and that it's just a lie that we tell people in America to control them easier. When Malcolm X came back from Mecca, he said racism isn't real. It's just a fabricated idea in America. In Asia, people will say, well, Asians, they're super racist. No, Asians don't like anyone who's not Asian. It's not like they specifically hate black people. They don't want you in their country if you're not Asian. You could call it xenophobic, I guess, but that's a stupid word too. Nobody's afraid of immigrants. We just don't like them. Think Like Garvey. I don't know who that is. I don't know nothing about Garvey. Write Like Maya Angelou. Maybe she could write. They are very entertaining.
The last of the slaves in Galveston, Texas in 18...
Build Like, I didn't see that name, but I don't know. Build like who? Spend money on decrease the value of gold and spend all your money on dumb crap like Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa devalued gold by like 3x, like a 300% decrease in the value of gold because of Mansa Musa, because he was just buying dumb crap. True story.
1965.
It's American history. It's not just African American history, and it's something I feel very near and dear to my heart about.
Near and dear to library manager Isaac Harrison, who helped.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have time to get to the Palantir stuff. Last little rapid fire story. Okay, Juneteenth's coming up. We get it. That bit's over. G7 is coming. You know what? We'll talk about the G7 next week because it's just beginning. But basically, I'll just say the G7 is starting. The G7 summit. Carney's going to be there. Trump's going to be there. Those are the people to watch. Forest fire, AI, critical minerals in Ukraine are going to be some big topics. Geopolitical minefields like Zelensky, like the Russia-Ukraine situation, the Israel, Hamas, Iran. G7 class of 2025. What do they want? Click the categories to filter the participants. Veterans and newbies. Emmanuel Macron, Cyril Ramaphosa. We'll talk about the G7 next week because we don't have time. I only have like 10 minutes, guys, which is not enough time to cover all this Palantir stuff. So we'll do a quick summary, and then maybe we'll do like a special edition show or something, or just a show where we research into Palantir. I'll give you a quick overview, but I really want to do a deep dive so that I'm like informed on it. It's a hot topic right now. Basically, I kind of equate it to the same thing with China's, which I've been talking about this for years, that this was going to happen. China's Sharp Eyes program, which had funding by the CIA and Google. Google's banned in China, but Google funded China's Sharp Eyes program. The Sharp Eyes program is their social credit score and surveillance programs. This ties in with 5G, ties in with immigration and things like the Gold Dome or the Iron Dome. China has what's called Skynet. No, that's not just from the Terminator. It's a real thing, and it's a digital web over the country for immigration purposes. Then they have Sharp Eyes, which is for surveillance and social credit scores. And our CIA and Google helped fund that. And I've been saying for years, the reason is because we were going to study it once it was implemented in China so that we could bring it to America. Now it seems like that's basically happening with Palantir. This Palantir is like a digital, it's surveillance. It's potentially surveillance and social credit stuff. And then we have the Gold Dome, which is just like, we've been researching how China and Israel do this stuff, and now we're bringing it to America. It's not good. This Peter Thiel guy. Hold on, let me pull up. But we're gonna have to spend a little more time on it. Open Alt-8 in new window. Palantir Technologies is an American software company that specializes in big data analytics and develops platforms that help organizations integrate, analyze, and manage vast amounts of data. They are known for their work in both the government and commercial sectors, providing tools for intelligence, defense, and various business operations. Data integration and analysis. Palantir's platforms such as Gotham and Foundry enable users to connect to various data sources, build ontologies, and perform complex analysis. Palantir software is designed to empower users to make informed decisions by providing insights from data, often in real time. It's data collection, surveillance, technologies, things like that. Good night, cutie pie. I'm not going to bed. I'm going to work. The problem is the problem people have is that Trump has tapped Palantir, and they're saying the story is that he's going to be collecting all of our data. I've told you guys before, I don't care about our data. When I say I don't like TikTok, they're like, it's because China's getting all our data. Dude, China had all our data. Ever since you started walking around with a cell phone in your pocket, every government has all your data. Who the fuck cares about data? Your data is already out there. It's not a secret. So people are like, hey, he's collecting all our data. Elon's got all our data. They all have our data. They've always had our data. Facebook has your data. Twitter had your data before Elon had your data. China's got your data. I don't care if you have a VPN. The VPN company has your data. Your data. Yeah, there's no privacy for a long time now. You ain't had no privacy since you got on the internet. You not had privacy since you started carrying a geo tracker in your pocket. There is no privacy. Shut up about the data. They're taking our data. No, who the fuck cares? Your data's been out there for years now, for decades. The technology is 50 years more advanced than what we know about. They've had all your fucking data for 50 years. Stop crying about the data. God. So annoying. Trump's giving all our data to Peter Thiel. Everybody's got your data. They got our data. They're taking our data. Palpatine versus Batman. Who wins? Zero prep time? Oh, Batman needs prep time. Palpatine, he got like superpowers, right? He could shoot lightning bolts from his hands and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not enough of a Star Wars nerd, but I am pro Empire. I do think Palpatine and the Stormtroopers are more based than the gay-ass rebels. Freaking Jedi. Oh, let's meditate and levitate. And I like the Empire better. So I'm not a Batman fan. Unless it's Christopher Nolan's Batman. I think Batman's gay. So I'm going to say Palpatine. That's my bet. Also, Batman needs prep time. Without prep time, Batman is done. One small pushback on that point, more data allows for more pattern recognition. Yeah, but they already got all the data. They're just, by more data, it's just as time goes on, there's more data. So each day they have a new day of data. But everybody already got that. Unsubscribe? No, he doesn't. Oh, did I piss off the Batman fans? Facts, JS. We have a chat divided over Palpatine versus Batman. I Google Godzilla constantly. Keeps the Chinaman out of my data. Wait, what? Wait, Googling Godzilla? Isn't Godzilla Japanese? What is Palantir, the secretive tech company behind Trump's data collection efforts. The Trump administration reportedly wants a master database on every American, and they want Palantir to make it happen. Last Friday, New York Times published an explosive report on the Trump. This is from Mashable.com. I don't even know what that is, but I think maybe we've went to Mashable before, but which could result in the creation of a master database, which makes us data slaves. And this is our data master. I told you we're all slaves in one way or another. With information on every single American per the Times, if this type of master list was created, it would give the president untold surveillance power. This is what the real 5G threat is, not freaking wavelengths that activate nanobytes from the Vaseline in your blood that turn us all into robots. That's not the threat of 5G. The threat of 5G is accessibility from devices for more surveillance. The Palp just force chokes him. GG. Right. I didn't like this one either. President Donald Trump signed an executive order earlier this year enabling federal government to share data on Americans across U.S. agencies. However, we know more about how the administration intends to do it. Trump tapped the tech firm Palantir, co-founded by Republican and Trump mega donor Peter Thiel. I've heard of Peter Thiel before, but I've only just recently, because of this situation, started hearing about Palantir. To carry out these efforts, the New York Times reported that Palantir's technology would make it possible to compile sensitive information from agencies like the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and the Internal Revenue Service. Various government databases already include information on America's bank accounts numbers, medical claims, disabilities, student debt amounts, and more, though not in one central place. Dude, I'm almost like, if you're going to use a bank, then they should have your data. Like, that's your fault. If you're going to have a bank account, you're going to use the government. Medical claims, you're going to use the American medical system. Disabilities and student debt, you're going to take out loans from the government for your student, to go to your possibly government funded college. You're going to take out a disability claim to get paid from the taxpayer and from the government. You're going to go to a hospital or an institution. You're going to go to a bank. That's your fault. If you don't want your data out there, go live in the freaking woods. You don't have to use these things. Phone companies, all of them get hacked yearly, almost at least a few times. Twitter used to let you see your interest in the eye of the algorithm, and the shit knew me scarily well. Oh yeah, they got a digital profile of all of us for the past 20 years. They've had a digital profile on every one of us, and as AI gets better, and of course it's just probability and predictive power, but they can almost know what you're going to do before you do it. It's pre-crime. Almost not. It's scarily accurate, but it's not entirely active. It's just probability. The Trump administration has said that it's looking to eliminate information silos and streamline data collection across all agencies to increase government efficiency and save hard-earned tax dollars. However, the specter of a central database is a nightmare for privacy watchdogs, and has even raised privacy and security concerns from Palantir employees. Dude, if you're a privacy watchdog and you're on the internet, shut up. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. If you have any social media account, if you have a bank account, if you've ever gone to the hospital, if you were born in a hospital and got a social security number, you got the mark of the beast when you were born, you do commerce and business in America, guess what? You don't have privacy. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks, but it is the way it is. It is what it is. I use a debit card almost exclusively. They know everything about me. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying I like that. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it is the case. I don't think it ought to be like that, but it is the case. They got all your data. Everybody got all your data. I can do a freaking background check on anybody, and I can find every address they've ever lived at. For $30, I can find out where you lived all your life, what kind of criminal charges you got, everything about your parents, your siblings, your family, every social media page that you've ever made. For $30, I can find out all of that. And you can too, about me. It's not hard. It doesn't suck yet, honestly, because the shady stuff they do with the data is still very unknown. Right? And there could be some benefits to it too, like security. You might have to sacrifice a little bit of privacy for security, national security. So there's good sides and there's bad sides to it. And it's just the way it is. Don't look up my name. I'm not nosy. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying I could. Who is Peter Thiel? If any of those names sounds familiar to you, it's likely Thiel. It's one of the co-founders of PayPal, which Elon was also one of the founders of PayPal. Thiel is a secretive Silicon Valley titan and a conservative kingmaker. In fact, it was Thiel that eventually ousted Elon Musk, a fellow co-founder who was serving as PayPal CEO at the time, from the company. After Musk's ousting, Thiel himself took over as PayPal CEO in 2000. In 2004, Thiel became the first outside investor in Facebook, turning his $500,000 investment into more than $1 billion. Damn. Why is Palantir so controversial? Palantir presents itself as a data and analytics company, but it also has a reputation for being highly secretive about its data mining and surveillance work. Palantir has also been criticized for providing intelligence services to aid the Israeli military in the 2023 Israel-Hamas war. CEO Karp has previously confirmed that Palantir provides intelligence services to the IDF. In response, Palantir has defended its work with Israel and has denied accusations of aiding war crimes, as its fiercest critics allege. Palantir has also been tapped to help the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement track immigrants in the U.S. See, that's a plus. As part of Trump administration's highly controversial policing and deportation efforts. It's not highly controversial. We voted for it. Policing and deportation is not highly controversial. It's majority agreed upon. There's just a lot of dumbasses out there who want to cry about Abuelita getting locked up. Maybe Abuelita shouldn't have been harboring a bunch of violent criminal human traffickers. That's why Catfish is a BS show. Their only expertise is $5.99 on a data merchant site. $5.99 on a data merchant. You're saying they could look up the people and not be catfished by them? I was on the front page of the news once. Nice. I don't know if I've been on the front page. We were on the front page of the Twin Falls, Idaho newspaper, but it wasn't a picture of me, but it was a vehicle that we were in that rolled over. The vehicle crash was on the front page. There was a picture of I still have the newspaper article cut out. My name was on there and they got my age wrong. They said I was like, maybe I told them a fake age. It's possible I told them a fake age. I don't know. I can't remember. But my age was wrong. I don't think I told them a fake age. I think the argument is more so with the due process and the way they were handling the deportation. Yeah, but they didn't want due process when they came in here illegally, so they don't get due process on their way out. Make sure to like Trina. Thank you. Got to split out. I'm about to leave too, but thanks for coming by, Jake. If you're going live, maybe I'll raid people over there. Let's see. Denver-based. Trump administration taps Denver-based tech company for government data collection project from 9 News. New York Times did the big article about it. They're not going to let me read it because I don't pay them. Entertainment Tonight, ET. Is that what ET? Oh no, Economic Times. Entertainment Time. Did the prank go too far, or did you go too far? Arrested at gunpoint for a prank that went too far. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order earlier this year. Palantir Technologies. Okay, it's just more of the same. I was going to do some research into Peter Thiel. Newsweek, Donald Trump's reported database move sparks alarm, quote unquote, dystopian. This is 2 minutes. I'm going to play this video and then we're going to head out. We can look more into this later. I knew I probably wasn't going to have time because there's so much with Israel, Iran, and the protests, and there's just so much stuff going on this week. It was a crazy news week, and I only have 3 hours, so let's watch this.
We're seeing cybersecurity for va.gov, which is the Department of Veteran Affairs flagship website, which veterans and their caregivers and their families use to access information about VA benefits.
What's this guy wearing?
Services, and to actually utilize VA benefits and services. I was in that role for a year and a half before I was fired on February 14th. I was fired by email at about 8:45 p.m. on a Friday night due to the restructuring.
Yeah, I know about 1984. I've got a video planned. Someday I'll make it. I don't know when, but I have a whole I'm going to write a whole dissertation about why O'Brien is the hero of 1984. Wilson and Julia are degenerate scumbag losers. Big Brother is asshole. Nobody liked Big Brother. Actually, and I have a theory that the Brotherhood is not even real. And O'Brien is actually the protagonist of 1984, the hero of 1984. And Wilson and Julia and Big Brother are the antagonists, but the only good guy in 1984 is O'Brien. O'Brien is based. O'Brien's alpha. He's the hero. Everybody else is a piece of shit in 1984. Especially Wilson and Julia. Especially Julia. She's nasty. She's a nasty, nasty woman.
And changes to USDS's mission. USDS no longer has a need for your services. And there was no prior notice to me, and there was also no prior notice to any of the people that I worked with or for at VA. So millions of people use that website every month. What's at stake is their private health information, their financial information, their bank account numbers, their credit account numbers, their disability information.
Yeah. And he's right. Math is not based in logic. Math is BS. Screw math. 2 + 2 can equal 5. How about when he asks Wilson, does he believe in God? And Wilson says no. Yeah. O'Brien's based.
Cybersecurity concern for the VA in particular
Julia.
is that given how the government
Julia
has been functioning
Gulia.
for the last month, I don't think the people
Get
at
some
VA
dinosaurs in there,
in the
too.
group that I worked with are going to be able to replace me.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Didn't you watch the video that I put in the Discord of Alex O'Connor getting AI to admit that math is not logical? It's not based in logic. It's very simple. I'm trying to clap, but I'm scared of clapping, so I'm only going to go halfway. But then I'm still scared to clap, so I'm going to go halfway again. How many, and each halfway point is a plane of halfwayness that my hands have to pass through. How many planes of halfwayness are my hands going to pass through before my hands contact each other? Infinite. Infinite planes of halfwayness that my hands have to pass through in order to clap. Mathematically, that is the answer. There's infinite halfway points between my hands right now. So if I just keep going halfway, I'm never going to clap. And I'm scared if I just clap, the whole universe is going to explode. Because I'm breaking physics, I'm breaking math. Watch this. That's infinity. I just broke math. Math is dumb.
It's me. I think they're going
Especially when they put letters in it.
to be lacking essential oversight over cybersecurity processes for va.gov. I'm also concerned.
Right. Logic came from math.
Concerned that if Doge continues the same pattern.
No, I don't know about that part. I mean, the laws of logic, they use math to explain them, but I think logic was around before math. And I don't think math is always logical. I don't like math. I'm just anti-math. I clapped. The whole universe just exploded. I'm just anti-math.
At VA that they've executed at every other agency. Eventually,
Math is gay.
People from Doge are going to start digging around inside private VA databases that contain people's private information.
Did he just say Diddy bases? He just said private VA Diddy bases.
We're going to start digging around inside private VA databases that
What the fuck is a Diddy base?
contain people's private information. And I don't think they should have access to that data. These are people who have never been background checked.
Then background check them. You can do it.
They're not confirmed to be trustworthy. I am very concerned that what Doge is doing is trying to break down the walls of decentralization that have kept data siloed within individual.
You also got to remember, all these people hate Trump. So this could be a bunch of BS. They just hate Trump, so they're fear-mongering that he's going to take all our data and what's he going to do with it? Oh, my God. They said the same thing about Elon. They're like, he has all our data. Dude, they all got your dang data already.
Individual agencies and trying to pull that data together and centralize it in one place. The reason why data are segregated in different agencies such that no one agency has access to it all is to minimize the likelihood of abuse, because there is a long history of governments that aggregate a lot of data about.
Matt uses illogical things all the time.
Their citizens using that data to.
Math breaks the laws of logic all the time. What's the square root of 1? It's I.
Views citizens who are viewed as.
Is that logical?
Of the state.
If you say that's logical, then I got a bridge in the Sahara Desert to sell to you. To be fair, I'm kind of just anti-math. So I'm being a little facetious. I'm being a little facetious because I just don't like math. I suck at math. So I'm kind of joking, but square root of 1 is 1. What am I thinking of? There's a square root of, I mean, the, what am I thinking of? If something, square root of something is I. It's square root of -1. The square root of -1. My bad. The square root of -1 is I. It's not even a real number. It's a fake number. They got fake numbers. Infinity. Infinity, physical infinites don't exist. It's a nonsensical concept. It's illogical. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, enough of this conversation. I just hate math, dude. A negative times a negative is a positive. I call shenanigans. That's right. I call bullshit. Call bullshit on that. I gotta head out. I'm gonna head out as well. Let's find somewhere to raid. I'm late. I'm late for very important. I'm gonna have to take an Uber to work so I get there on time. We'll be all right. Because I still got to walk Echo before I leave. Let's go to Rob Noor. Yeah, let's go to Rob. I'll send you guys a Rob Noor. God bless, guys. Thank you for hanging out. We will be back hopefully tomorrow morning, starting 2 Kings on the Bible study. And that's the plan. That should be the next thing we do is 2 Kings in the Bible study tomorrow. So I will see you guys then. Send you over to Rob Noor. Put some chairs in his chat. JS Raid, chair in his chat. We love Rob. All right, God bless, guys. I'm out. Peace.